Oh, I'm sure it's fine, Papaya. We can all muddle together and we'll be able to, as a collective whole, make up the speed requirement. Just double checking if the camera's in the right position. It's kind of not. Alright, shows that this table's an absolute tip, but that's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. Hello, everybody. How goes it? How goes this? Well, it's slightly warm over here is how that goes. Well, how are you all doing? Hello, Didi. Hi, Jayla. Ang. Hi, Papaya. Yeah, so I've been on my eBay bullshit recently. Not actually the thing we're doing tonight. I had that already. It's quite a collection of emos, and for a second there I was right that the egg one was Jar Jar Binks, but that does not appear to be the case. And that's okay. That's fine. It's all fine. But yeah, a big box PC game was one of them. I'm desperately trying to remember the justification for this, but I supposedly also have PS4 Pro on the way. Because, one, there was a couple of exclusives that I still wanted to play on that. Two, I saw it for a decent price, so... Music is giving you anxiety, it's so jaunty. If I wanted to give you anxiety, I would just find an extended version of the drowning music. But I did not, because I care. I'll tell you what, why don't we turn it down a bit? Okay, not very audible anymore, but that's fine. That is exactly what I was going for. No, thank you. No, I will not put that on. And as sad as I am to admit it, yeah, I indulged a little in Prime Day. Even though I already give Amazon plenty money at this point. There's something that anxiety-inducing music, and at least 2 brains went Sonic drowning music. It's burning some of our psyches, is what that is. Has been forever. Oh dear, what have you wandered into? Music. If anybody's wondering, this is the Labyrinth Zone music from the Master System version of Sonic 1, but remade with a 16-bit sound font. You feel the need to read. Welcome in, Keith. How you doing? Greetings, Pickledy Dog. Prime Day, because you need more of an excuse to be a reprobate on that side. Yes, hello, I'm reprobate. We're a bunch of scandals. Sleepy 5e game cancelled today, sadly. Nuts. That is a shame. Are you DMing that one, Keith, or were you just playing? Pickled. Playing. Oh, that's probably a bigger shame, because from my understanding, you don't get to play as often as you DM. Keith deserves a little game as a treat. Now, here's the setup we have. So I just reminded myself that there's a bit of a delay between this camera here, which is coming from a phone and being transmitted wirelessly. So let's see if I can demonstrate this right now. Yeah, bit of a delay. Also, I'm not sure the book view is all that smooth for whatever reason. I'm sure we'll muddle through. No, what the hell did I just do there? I was trying to make a full screen view so I can just have this up here, because otherwise I'm going to be peering past this light and this phone on a metal arm. Yeah, slow hands. He has a camera view that isn't backwards. Yeah, technology is amazing, it turns out. But yeah, since it has to go wirelessly, it's a bit of a delay on it. Just hoping that remains readable. Looks fine? Excellent. Okay. So yeah, we had a bunch of these growing up. I believe there's 6 in the series. We definitely had this one, me and my brother. And I think we had this one as well. But yeah, the series goes on a wee bit. Camera's not zoomed out far enough. Doesn't help. And just get my overwhelming compulsion to put them back in correct order. You forgot I had Your Adventure Ends Here prompts, Fighting Fantasy Sonic Edition. Essentially, yeah. You only had the Zonik metal one. But we definitely had this one. Which... this is basically just saying Robotnik did a bad. Did he? No. In order. Always in order. That's the exact same... Okay, it's not exactly the same blurb as the last one, but it might as bloody well be. Yeah, very vague. Very vague, that one. But yeah, if you've ever played Fighting Fantasy books, it's much along those lines. You read a paragraph, you get a choice. You go to another paragraph until you die, or you don't die. And in the Fighting Fantasy style, it also does have some complications. So I'm going to have to get some dice out in a second. You get statistics, you have lives, you have rings, and you have stuff. You have an inventory, basically. Your former library worker brain is displeased by out-of-order books. Same brain, except I wasn't a library worker, I just seem to have picked that up from somewhere. Who decided to do Sonic for this Gamebook series when Golden Axe was right there? I mean, it's not as if they weren't adverse to, you know, going off in different directions with Golden Axe. It was Golden Axe Warrior on the Master System, which was a blatant rip-off of The Legend of Zelda, but we didn't have The Legend of Zelda on Sega consoles, so hardly that offended. And then we had Axe Battler something or other on the Game Gear, which was a blatant rip-off of Zelda 2, The Adventures of Link. Kind of showed the trick on that one. Sonic sounds like Sonic met the 90s, but he's from the 90s. Here's the story. The evil guy did it evil, you gotta fix it. Enjoy dying because silly. Like they never did a Comic Zone comic. Yeah, Sonic the comic was going that whole time, and they never thought, maybe combine these ones. 2 on the nose? I don't know. They just... I agree, missed opportunity. Of all the games to rip off, the bad canon Zelda. Well, to be honest, I don't think Wand of Gamelon is much welcomed into the timeline, is it? Just realised I've got no idea what I'm going to do for background music. It's got to be Sonic themed, surely. Okay, 1 second. Suddenly glad that I've got wireless keyboard. I resisted wireless equipment for so long. My mouse is still wired. I still want the response time on that. But keyboards, I could live with it. You know, supposedly this Lightspeed thing, God, that's dusty. Lightspeed thing is faster than wired. So somebody has said. Now, certainly it seems fast enough. Can find something long to put on. Sonic Frontiers specifically, so yeah, I'll do. Should do alright. Don't think that one is considered canon so much. No, with good reason. in there with the first Hyrule Warriors. Only Hyrule Warriors got some love. Canon is a lie. It really is. My understanding is Hyrule Warriors itself isn't canon, but some of the information it imparts is canon. Something like that. I know, I heard OSP talk about it once, so that's the extent of knowledge. Right, so what do I need to do? Need one ordinary 6-sided dice and a pencil. Now, honestly, these ones I call them a Warlock dice. Because the Warlock I play in 4E game, run by the wonderful KNSD in chat, is a Fey Pact Warlock, so green just seemed to make sense. Link's life is hell, and every woman who meets him falls in love with him is pretty dang canon, you would say, and it is legit majority of the story of the first Hyrule Warriors. Gotta admit, this Hyrule Warriors thing is sounding a bit wild. Canon, more trouble than it's worth. Yes, the creators of Red Dwarf would agree with you on that one. Now, but given myself more time, I realise I could have made this phone as web camera thing work through wired. Just plug it into the PC and do it that way. But that would involve putting ADB on this thing, and that's just a little trickier on Windows than it is on Linux. So it is completely insane and not something to try in 100% in one go. Canon, no thanks. Just no. Okay, blah blah blah. I make decisions. You jump to pages. 6 abilities. These what builds? Okay, so it's a point buy system. Well, no, it's a. You have a bunch of numbers and you pick which of these you want. The thing. Hey, Summer, welcome in. Sonic and Tails have 6 abilities. You will say Tears of the Kingdom isn't as thirsty as Breath of the Wild in this regard. A Warlock, whose role in combat is to run a lap around the arena, going invisible, cursing everyone, and either freezing them to death or making them explode. Sometimes I set them on fire. One of the characters you can play in Warriors is the Great Fairy, and one of her weapons is she shoves Link in a bottle. Well, it is his turn. Okay, so 5, 4, 3, and then 2 for the rest. Alright, let's do this. Spud. Strong. Agility. Key. Wit. And sexy. So I think speed has to be 5. We have to go with 5 for speed. Next, we'll go with quick wits. Coolness 3, and then that leaves 2 for the rest. Kind of ironic that speed is high and agility is low, but that does describe every 3D Sonic game that I've ever played. Stuff. You were going to go hot, but sure, sexy works. Tails is helping in combat, you add 3, which is unlike how it is in the video game where if Tails is helping you, he dies 15 times. Yeah. "100 rings for a life?" Well, I hope so. Well, let's actually read through that, because I just skimmed over this part. Look at the ability. Free Sonic's a strength of 4 and score would be, yeah. Roll and add your ability. Fighting score, number between 5 and 10. Lower the number, the worse they are at fighting. Roll the die, add the ability score Sonic is using. Sonic rolls higher than or equal to enemy's fighting score. Then hit. Some enemies need more than one hit to destroy them. In a Sonic game, sacre bleu. Roll one die, now its fighting score. Result is more than 10 and hit Sonic. Ouch! It's helping add 3. In some cases, this may be less, but it depends on what's happening. Hit by an enemy, lose all rings, or if it doesn't have rings, he'll lose one of his lives. This is surprisingly complex, honestly. More than I'm used to. Lose them all, failed, and must start the adventure again. Tails has no lives of his own, and if Sonic has lost all his, he must go back to the beginning as well. Makes it sound like there's parallel tracks for Sonic and Tails. And buy an extra life of 100 rings, there you go. Tails indeed has no life of his own. Sonic 3D. Speed is high, nearsightedness is a trait. And then it'll decide, no, we'll point the camera right at your face for a while. Some parts of the adventure need rings to gain access to part of the zones. Oh, hold on. Starts with a few items already written down in Sonic stuff. Where are they? Doesn't look like it is. Is that just an example and I misread? Of course there's a novelization of Baby's Day Out and Beethoven's Second and Free Willy. Is anyone go back in time at this point? I think it's 1994 this book came out. This is just for the previous two. Oops, just showed you the ending there. These include an energy gun. This nifty piece of hardware shoots out a beam of pure cool. Anything evil or eggy caught by it will be frozen for a while. Fortunately, every time Sonic fires it, it costs 10 rings, so use it wisely. Energy gun. We could tell you if and when he can use this stuff. For the adventure, we'll be able to pick up other things, write these down. Cross off the ones he's and Tails does not have anymore. Yeah, start with a gun. That's the wrong Hedgehog. There's that damn fourth Chaos Emerald. Somewhere in this adventure, Sonic will find the Zone chip. This may be used at any time in the game by turning to section 237. You will not see this number printed in the book very often, so make a note of it for when you find the chip. Otherwise, Sonic won't be able to use it. Usually, they just tell you in the paragraph you pick it up.
Reinforcements have arrived.
Oh, bloody hell, I've been raided. Have a clip. Well, that's off-center.
Thanks for the quote. Thanks for the clip, Kiara.
There we go. There. English is a lie perpetuated by Big Mouth. Ah, dear. Bree, welcome in. I saw that you were thinking about stopping. How meta. Indeed. How are you getting on? Are you feeling better now that you are no longer perceive? Join us at the character creation for this Sonic Gamebook. It's same characters, just rolling up the stats. What was that Sonic game where you literally did make your Sonic Sona? You were feeling blarg? Oh, boo. Yeah, we have a gun. We have an energy gun that shoots pure cool. I'm not even fucking lying, everyone. Just like, here we go. Everyone else has already seen this, but it's madness and you need to see it. I keep forgetting, I keep looking down to look at the book. It's on my screen right here. Sonic starts with a few items. These are already written down in Sonic stuff. They are not. That was definitely enough time to read it, shut up. They include an energy gun. This nifty piece of hardware shoots out a beam of pure cool. Anything evil or eggy caught by it will be frozen for a while. Unfortunately, every time Sonic fires it, it costs 10 rings, so use it wisely. The book will tell you if and when you can use the stuff. Throughout the adventure, he will be able to pick up other things. Write these down as Sonic stuff so that you will remember what he has collected. Excuse me. Also, cross off the ones he and Tails don't have anymore. Be honest, you'd never de-tiefling. Yeah, put on your human cosplay. Excellent, good way of saying it. But, yes, thank you ever so much for raiding. Very wonderful person. Anyone's not familiar with Bree, RPG's bread and puns is a very... well, it's a very reductionist way of looking at it, but streams are a fun time, that's the point. Yeah, what's next? He has a car. Is this official in the book or is it a custom edition? Oh, sexy is good looks, but there was a lot to fit in this space, so I just wrote down sexy. And then somebody suggested hot was actually a better way of doing it. Anyway, Boo to Blarg, thank you for raid. It's human Sona. Hey Borders, welcome in. Insurance worked with you, you don't need to enforce compliance. What on earth? Alright, so we've got more stats. They were slightly hidden by my camera, but nevertheless. Alright, tell you what, I'm going to swap these over because... nope, that's the same problem. I'm just going to have to keep this in the middle and deal with this when it comes up. So for those of you who don't know, we're playing an adventure game book based on Sonic the Hedgehog. Because this is just something that they made a lot of in the 90s. Something very strange happened in the Green Hill Zone. 1 minute Sonic had been sitting playing with his Mega Drive, the next thing he was being attacked by a group of maniac bunnies. They were all usually his friends. He tried to speak to them, but all they kept shouting at him was something about him filling all their burrows with rotten eggs. Sonic didn't even like eggs, and the bunnies were his mates, so he never dreamed of doing that to them. Suddenly, everything had gone black. Sonic could see stars, not the kind of stars in the night sky, but the kind that whiz around the inside of your head. It was as if the whole universe was circling around him. Well, he always thought so, didn't he? Sonic, of course, being the same. Should have read ahead. We were just capturing your webcam with sexy. I was not. I was not. I do not have that ego, Timmy. Sonic, a hedgehog. Hedges and their hogs. As opposed to Sonic, a hamburger chain. Is that even still around? I have never had the pleasure question mark. Hey, slow down! It was a daytime a minute ago! It's the best you're getting, sorry. Suddenly his senses returned and he jumped to his feet. The bunnies were gone. He was alone, confused, and not sure what was going on. Wow, this is weird, said Sonic. Sonic might be covered in spines, but they don't protect his head. Gingerly, he raises a paw to his rapidly growing bruise. No, no! It's the size of an egg! Egg. Egg. How do Americans say egg? Egg. I'll just get past that. Hey now, don't say egg. Bad vibes about that word, I suppose. I'd better find out whether the bunnies are right. I screwed up that sentence. Did other people use the hedge, you blue jerk? Paw and a fingered glove. Oh. I don't know why I was expecting 4 fingers. But, nope. Well, 4 and a thumb. I was expecting Simpsons hands. Sonic set out through the green hills, still not really believing what had happened in the past 10 minutes. Everything looked normal. The hills were green, the sky was blue. Yes, this had to be the Green Hill Zone. There was something something odd nagging him. Zwing! A small silver object flew towards Sonic's head, embedding itself in a tree behind him. Sorry, this is annoying me a bit. Let's see if I can alter this setup just a little. The boom arm was too high up, you see. So I can actually see my screen. Yes, okay, this seems like it'll do. Now everyone has died from motion sick. Yeah, I probably should have moved away before I did all that adjustment. Sorry. Small silver object flew towards Sonic's head, embedding itself in a tree behind him. Sonic turned around to take a look at the tree. There, half buried in the bark, was the familiar shape of a buzzer. Zzz, zzz. Get you next time, Buzz. Get you next time. Bzzz, threatened the buzzer, rather pathetically as he was firmly stuck in the tree. Sonic smiled. All was well in the Green Hill Zone. He always tried to get me, he thought, but never managed it. The thought formed a smile. Sonic started walking away from the cursing buzzer, wondering whether to head for the hills or one of the bridges. Imagine you are Sonic. What would you do? Go to the hills? Or, if you think you should head towards the river, 177. But I am Sonic, I just haven't told everyone. I'm thinking the hills. There we go. The hills look just like Sonic expected them to. All green and, well, hilly. Sonic stopped. Up ahead was one of the star posts. Usually he could see it from far away, its light shining out like a beacon. Today, Sonic couldn't see it at all. That's strange, he said. Sonic had been to the post so many times that even if he couldn't see it, he could still find it. In fact, it didn't make the discovery he was about to make any easier. After a few more steps, Sonic discovered why he wasn't being able to see the post, for in a little hollow in the hillside was a black and twisted lump of metal about 2 meters long. That was all that remained of the post. What could have done such a thing? It's not as if there's a bunch of very strong robots running around. Should he try to repair it, or should he move on and try to find out what's going on? I want to see how Sonic fucks up a repair job, because that's not really his forte. The poor post has well and truly been mashed, even with Sonic's super strength. 2, but okay. He cannot raise it. After half an hour of trying, he decides to leave it where it is. The view from the hilltop is superb, and in the distance Sonic can see a little river with a bridge, and beyond that, a small wood. Sonic has super strength? Yeah, it's not really as... You know, if you had to pick one attribute to define him, I don't think strong is it. What could have done this? I don't know, Sonic. What usually causes your problems in the world? Well, for a while it was just robotic, and then a lot of weird stuff happened. Like in Sonic the Comic, Super Sonic became a separate being. There was a bunch of people in the... No, it wasn't the Phantom Zone, was it? Wherever the Mobius... No, oh, what was it? The Omniviewer was. That dimension. But basically what I'm trying to say is, bring back Short Fuse the Cybernetic, you cowards. That looks like a good way to go, says Sonic out loud to nobody. So we're getting railroaded towards the bridge. Familiar sound of the river could be clearly heard in the distance. Sonic didn't really like the river. He didn't like any rivers. They were alright to look at, but he didn't fancy getting wet one bit. Yeah, because you're at risk of hearing that goddamn drowning music. Sonic walked into the valley and breathed a sigh of relief. At least there was a proper bridge here today. Green Hill Zone bridges had a nasty habit of doing their own thing. Sometimes they were normal, other times bits of them collapsed as you walked on them. Sometimes they even disappeared when you were halfway across. Gingerly, Sonic tiptoes across the bridge, casting a cautious eye to the water. Somewhat relieved, he reaches the other side. You can never be too careful with bridges. 12, you say? Make sure we can take in this artwork. Yeah, it's decent enough artwork, I have to say. It's on brand. Once across the river, Sonic was in one of the many small woods that dotted the zone. All looked as it should be. The trees were still large things with brown trunks and lots of big green bits on top. That does sound right for Sonic's intelligence level, honestly. At least in the characterization I know of him. There were plenty of them, and they all had one end firmly stuck in the ground. Completely normal, says Sonic, just as a large brown object lands at his feet with a thump. Sonic looks at the thing, unsure what it is or why it's there. Coconut? He says, just as the second one hits him squarely on the chest. Sonic sprawls onto the ground, but he's back on his feet in a second. Cut that, Spiky! Sonic looks up towards where the voice was coming from, and he sees the face of Coconuts grinning down at him from the top of a tree. Wonder where that came from, Spiky. Coconuts howls with laughter as he reaches for another coconut to hurl in Sonic's direction. Just as Sonic is wondering what to do, the numbers 132 pop into his mind. How strange. Monkey 132. Hit it with a line. No, then that goddamn song will start up. That's how you treat large foreign objects. Or large brown objects. Goth damn you, autocarrot. Coconuts. Growing coconuts. You know, people generally aren't that imaginative with nicknames, so that makes perfect sense to me. This prick throws coconuts. We'll call him Coconuts. Because I don't think he's going to be in a particularly chatty mood at any given point, so... Oh god, the lag on this seems to have gotten worse. Give me 1 second. I'm going to reduce it to 30 FPS. Be back on in a second. Yeah, so... Yeah, lag's a bit better. Doesn't look as good, obviously, but... I'll have to cope. I suppose there's a way I can... increase the bitrate for this. The video quality's already at high, so... Nope, I'm out of options. Exposure is the main thing for lag in your experience. I mean, the main thing for lag with me is the fact it's doing this over Wi-Fi. So that is my theory. I'm just trying to too many bandwidth on teeny phone. But I didn't want to install ADB on this thing to get it to work over wired, which I believe is how that goes with IV cam, is the thing I'm using. And it's usually exactly that thing for anything on Android. If you're sideloading anything, you're gonna have to get ADB running. Alright, will Sonic get out of the way of the annoying monkey, or will he try to speak to him? I feel like he's not going to be all that talkative, so normally I would avoid that option. I just want to see what happens. Carefully, keeping a very close eye opening for flying coconuts. I just added a word in there, I'm pretty sure. Carefully keeping a very close eye open for flying coconuts, Sonic tries to talk to the irritating monkey. Tell me, Coconuts, what's it like to be smelly, ugly, and stupid? Sonic frowns and waits, hoping that he has said the right thing to Coconuts. Sonic really has a way with words, quite a charmer in fact. I don't know which skill that comes under. Probably wits, in fairness, so maybe it's a point. Don't play on neutron blaster, Fleabag! Coconuts cheers back. Perhaps, thinks Sonic, wasn't quite the right thing to say. Coconuts grabs another missile and flings it at Sonic. No point in trying to reason with him, thinks Sonic, but not after you insult him to his face. Some real Mass Effect shit there. We just like, you know, you get an option called diplomacy and you just end up screaming at some poor bastard. After a little while, the trees thinned out and Sonic was back in the open. Up ahead, he could hear the sound of another river. Sure enough, around the next bend in the path, there was a river. Not a very wide one, but Sonic's heart sank nevertheless. For the bridge was not all it could have been. Excuse me. The planks that made up the walkway were moving. Sonic stops and looks at them for a while, trying to work out the pattern. Soon Sonic feels sure that he has worked it out, and he will be able to cross safely. With a look of determination, he takes a few steps backwards, and then charges towards the bridge. In which order should Sonic step on the planks? Okay, so this is just RNG bullshit. The third, then the second, then the first. The first, then the third, then the second. The second, then the third, then the first. Well, that number 132 that I got there is going to help us there. Yeah, big burn. Deus Ex Machina numbers. Tell you what. 1 or 2 will pick that. 3 or 4 will pick that. 5, 6 will pick that. 2, so it's the first one. 173. Do I die? Despite all Sonic's careful observations, he somehow manages to get it completely wrong. No idea how that could have happened. First step went okay, then the next plank just disappeared and Sonic finds himself spinning uncontrollably through the air. Roll the die and add the result to Sonic's agility. So my agility is 2. That comes to 4. The score is 7 or more, he still manages to get across, more by luck than judgment though. The score is lower, unfortunately he's got wet and must lose a life or all his rings. There we go. First life down, we've only got 2 left. In any event, Sonic at last manages to get the more dangerous than it looked bridge. Across the bridge, that bridge. Dun dun. Is that the numbers? 1, 3 and... I was reading it as a paragraph number. Or a section number, or whatever you call it. So first, third, and then second. God damn it. So yeah, that could have been avoided. In any event, Sonic at last manages to get across the more dangerous than it looked bridge. There are a lot of hills on the other side. Just as Sonic is deciding which way to go, he sees something that makes his spine stand on end. Is that different from usual? Well, I feel done. Thank you for the head pats, TT. Straight ahead, the hillside is cut by a small, deep-sided valley. Its sides almost sheer. From time to time, Robotnik was in the habit of setting a moving platform maze here to trap the unwary. Mind you, the risk was worth it, since Robotnik usually baited the top of that trap with at least half a dozen rings. There were 2 things about the maze that made Sonic think that the bunnies might not have been mad after all. Firstly, the platforms weren't moving. Okay, he could cope with that. Second thing was the fact that Tails was lying on the highest platform. He didn't look happy. Which is the... sorry. You too get pertinent numbers flashing through your mind for no reason, such as the code for the door at work by remembering it somehow. The spine stands on end. That's what spines do. That's what they're there for. To see a doctor if his spine is changing position. Yeah, fair play. Okay, 253. Hang on. By Jove, somebody's trying to colour this in. Where was I going? We'll just skip over whatever was happening in that scene. Maybe we'll find out later. In a daze, Sonic walks over to the start of the maze. Tails was in a dreadful state. His fur was all muddy and it looked like... No, it couldn't be true. Someone had tied poor Tails' two tails together. Sonic's blood boiled. Who could have done this to his friend? Tails! Tails! Sonic shouts. But Tails doesn't move. I must rescue him! Sonic says aloud. Sonic looks at the platforms and spots a small wooden lever set into the cliff. Did Sonic try to help Tails? Or have a look at the lever? Go straight in. Get fired into your heroic business. Oh, Jesus Christ. I mean, have you seen the doctor he normally runs into? Fair point. By Jove! He's robotic that kind of doctor. No, he's just got a PhD in egg. Egg. Has to be a way up to the platforms, but what is it? Sonic stares at them for ages without any luck. All the time he keeps an eye on Tails, high above him. There must be an easy answer to this one, he says aloud. Then he remembers the lever, turned to 207. Lever is set about 3 meters above the floor of the valley. An easy jump for someone of Sonic's ability, isn't it? Roll the die and add the result to Sonic's agility. Oh, fucking hell. Nope. More than 647, less than 662. Oops, that wasn't supposed to happen at all. Sonic mistimed the jump, missed the lever completely, and landed with a thump on the ground. Ouch! Turn back to 207 and let Sonic have another go. Before you do, roll the die. Sonic scores a 1, and unfortunately he's lost all his rings or a life if he doesn't have any rings. That counts as a 2, it's fine. Right, so I need to get 4 more. Yay! Oh, more than 6. Shit. Okay, didn't roll a 1, it's fine. I need a 5 or more. No. Don't roll a 1. Ow! Just lost another bastard life. 5 or more. Nope. Not a 1. Fine. 5 or more. Not a 1. 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 Yeah, don't blame me, Jella. Enjoy your lurk. 5 or more. Yes! Made it. Haven't I rolled a 5 a few times already? Yes, but what I had to do on 207 was roll against my agility to get 5 or more. Sorry, to end up with a score more than 6. If I got less than that, I had to turn to page 162 and see if I rolled a 1, because that would have lost me a life. I was alternating between the two. Okay, more than 647. No trouble whatsoever. Cheeky mother. Sonic leaps through the air and with one deft flick of the wrist, the lever has been pulled. Almost immediately, the platforms whir into action behind him. 3, 3. Now the platforms are moving again. The route up to Tails is an easy one. Well, at least it was easy to someone like Sonic. 3 hops, a jump, 1 little spin and a final hop, and Sonic gets to the top. He looks anxiously down at the motionless body of Tails. Friend looks awful, but you never say it to his face. Tails! Sonic reaches out a paw to touch his friend. Tails, it's me! Sonic! He says. Gradually, Tails wakes up. He looks at Sonic, his eyes getting wider and wider. No, no! Stay away from me! Stay away! My voice doesn't go in high enough for Tails. Tails screams. He tries to hover, but he can't because his tails are tied together. His eyes look wild, and Sonic is sure that he is frightened. You have higher wits than that, Sonic. You kind of stating the obvious. Only there was the low oxygen warning sound for these rolls. No, no, I'm not doing that to people. You think the people of this world would be able to tell flesh from metal by now? Nope. But Tails, it's me, Sonic! I'm your friend! Who did this to you? You did! You did! Howls Tails, his eyes filling with tears. With this, Tails tries once more to hover, and this time the knot in his tails falls out and he is away. Come back! Yells Sonic. But his friend is already gone. Normal Wednesday night for these two. Is that the end of the night or the start? Thank you for the clip, Keith. Rereaded and Icky, you were shopping and have come back to something. An adventure game book, Enfys. Think fighting fantasy or choose your own adventure, but this. Where was I going again? 98. Sonic can't believe what is happening. Tails has been his friend since he can remember. Ever since he could remember. Determined to catch up with Tails, Sonic leaps off the platform and tumbles expertly onto the floor of the valley with not a single spine out of place. See the clip for thrilling dice rolling action. These people see a lot of robots, you think they'd recognise one on sight, but no. If you've got some fighting fantasy books, you really should go through one of these days. Yes. Sonic can only remember back one game. That explains a lot. Tails is already a long way up up the valley, and Sonic hares off after him. Sonic moves a lot faster than Tails, and he's catching him up easily when disaster strikes. Roll the die and add the result to Sonic's quick wits. If the score is more than 7, wits is 4, so not more than 7. Oh, 7 or more. Excellent, we've won this one. Now that was pure cool with a capital C, which stands for cut, or was it just luck? Sonic's the only one who will ever know, and there's not much chance of him admitting it, is there? Whether it was skill or luck, the little blue super being manages not only to spot the almost hidden stream, he also manages to leap it in a single bound, finishing off with an amazing spin just for good measure. Outstanding! Sonic can't resist the temptation to sing his own praises. Well, not bad, I suppose, he continues, a little less over the top. Wait, his wits not his speed? Well, it's his wits to figure out that, to spot the river and dodge it. What are they doing above 99? You're not the only one that was thinking that was wrong, right? What? Section numbers? Sonic's smug increased. Oh. Naybob, what are you up to? Let's see if it's a temporary problem. Okay, temporary problem. There's a quote. Maybe that's the fucking answer. Remove all the limbs. Oh no, in this game. This game's for kids. Running, spinning and jumping across the green hill zone, Sonic is quickly gaining on his friend Tails. Sonic cannot help but wonder why Tails is trying to get away from him. Perhaps this is a game? Maybe Tails is just trying to see if Sonic is awake enough to close the gap. At last Sonic catches up with Tails and skids to a halt. Tails looks tired and afraid. Sonic goes towards him, but Tails backs off. Why are you Why are you running away from me? Sonic splutters. Tails just looks at him. Sonic is getting desperate. What is going on here? Sonic demands. Let's make up some of those grotesque and morbid people you know. Okay, but, you know, showing them gory, horrible shit is just likely to get you on the front page of the Daily Mail. Tails continues looking at Sonic and leans a little closer to him. Makes Sonic feel a bit weird, like some kind of exhibit in a zoo. Now that Tails is this close, Sonic is shocked at the state of them. Wow, shade. As well as mud and dirt, poor old Tails' fur is singed and blackened in over a dozen places. Sonic is still confused. He opens his mouth to repeat the questions. Tails quickly reaches out with a paw and touches Sonic on the snout. Boop. Then quick as a flash, he whips the paw away again. Okay, Tails is sounding more like a cat than a fox. Listen to him playing and it's all gore and limb removal and theatric pain! What are you up to, Tails? Exclaims Sonic. Tails just smiles. So it is you, he says, very relieved. Real you, after all. I didn't look at the picture. I've got this picture now, which is very a picture. Tails really failed his wisdom rolls. Yeah, the robot Sonic is pretty damn obvious, isn't it? It's not easy to see, is it? There we go. Pretty damn obvious. Needless to say, Sonic had something of a story. I have picked the wrong night to read, because apparently I cannot read. The most picture so far. Right, full of magic beans, you think? Let's find out. Oh no, that's for the other paragraph. We're on this one. Needless to say, Tails had something of a story to tell Sonic. So you see, whatever it is, looked just like you, and every time it touched me, it burnt. Oh. When did the... Oh, the quote started there? I could barely see that. That's why I knew it was really you when I touched you. Sonic was baffled. Who on earth would want to go and impersonate him? No, he wasn't. Now I've added quote marks when they weren't there. Who could it be? He said aloud. I don't know, replied Tails. But whoever it is, he needs to be stopped. I wouldn't be at all surprised if Robotnik wasn't behind all this. The idea did make sense. All the good creatures of Mobius looked to Sonic as the one thing that could stand up to Robotnik. Make Sonic look bad and Robotnik's job just got a lot easier. Right, let's go get him, Tails! Sonic was on his feet in an instant. But we don't know where to look, said Tails. Now, that, annoying as it was a very good point. Any ideas? Ideas? Little, said Sonic. Tails paused and thought for a while. I last saw it, the Bad Sonic, heading for the chemical zone, but that was about an hour ago, I think. Right, let's go that way then. Sonic was already coiling up for a sprint. When I first saw him, he was hanging around that secret cave. Excuse me. What cave? Said Sonic, not really listening. No, the one where we used to hide rings for safekeeping over by the little river. What will they do? Will they go and look in the cave? Or should they hurry on towards the chemical zone? Sonic had an asthma attack. Sonic needed to fucking cough. Well, Sonic was at least painted somewhat the right colours. I think paint might be an exaggeration. I don't think there was any paint on there at all. Hydrate and posture check. Sonic is, of course, Animal Jesus. Is Aslan a joke to you, Keith? I was not expecting to see the phrase Jesus' own persona breed. Jesus. I should have maybe picked a different exclamation there, but it's happened now. Damn lie never offered me any Turkish delight. Okay, I'm going to take a wee break there because we're past the hour mark. I'm going to pause the music and then put us onto the Be Right Back screen. That'll play you a bunch of clips to keep you entertained. In the meantime, wow, Nightball, what the fuck is up with you today? Wow, that was a very prescient quote for what's about to happen. It's a little tradition we have. There's one clip we always want to see turn up, and it involves a big... Also, I don't know if quote is just working for me tonight or what. This is very odd. Anyway, I'm going to go for a wee break. In the meantime, you'll get some clips, but feel free to get up, have a wee stretch, move your legs around, get a drink or a snack. Make sure you're staying on top of your meds. And, okay, quote works for Enfys. Hell of a quote to get there. Small break or a pee break? Yes. Just go be nice to yourself. Make sure you're on top of your meds. I'll meet you back here in a while. Roll for fucking puppy. Well, bonus time is a bit of a bust, but I am thus far not dead. On the other hand,
Reinforcements have arrived.
Red! Holy shit! Sorry.
And it took fewer bullets to kill him now than it would have if he had transformed.
Everything is fine. Nobody wants to kill me. Certainly not a giant robot straight out of hentai. But with lasers. So straight out of hentai. Yep, alright, jeez.
Looks like everything's in order. Stand back.
What? Oh, Jesus Christ.
About your friend Max can't be far off now. I hope it comes in time. Just take this little old stamp thing across the way to immediate action. They'll get right on it.
Immediate action.
It's the whole plot. You demand perfection, Iki. The kind you'd get on your own stream. Okay. How's that? Like that? Worse or better? Okay, a bit harsh, but the opportunity presented itself and I went for it. Chef's kiss. As they all say, arg upon dime. They do. What's up? What the fuck is going on here? He was standing right there, I was standing right there. He wasn't moving a muscle. I was electrocuting thin air. What the fuck? Creates fire. I was hoping it'd be a sort of basket for Le Bomb, but apparently not. So I'm just going to play that and see what happens. That. Brilliant. Okay, maybe we're getting somewhere now. Let's try that. Oh my god, where did we end up? I was to be your spoils. Yep. There we go. Now they can only vomit on me. Ah, you fucks. Ooh, 4 of them. In the ass. You fucker. That'll do.
From the top, because that's the only way it makes sense to me. Yep. Yep. I failed in an interesting way with it. Yeah.
Oh, friend. Save the baby.
Take care of yourself, buddy.
Yeah. Baby eagle. Do, 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 do. See, now it's just in. Oh, no, 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 no. You're way too close. You're way too close. I'm going too slow. I'm going too slow. I'm about to get stabbed.
Might be a way around this. This is not it. Oh no! Oh no! 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 No, I think the solution is much more along the lines of heated balloon of air.
Oh, fuck off. Not even collecting your jelly, you worthless prick. That's how much you mean to me. I'm sorry, was that either we get some truffles or engage in life or death combat? Pretty much. I mean, you haven't had a truffle, but... Oh, fuck these guys.
I mean, not with that attitude, Summer. Oh, hello. Apparently I set the webcam up at some point. Nope, this is not meant to be a webcam stream. Excuse me, excuse me. It was accidentally in my face. That wasn't meant to happen. It killed.
Back we are. And I don't know what that clip was going to be. Just thought I'd hit the wrong scene by mistake. Thank you, Dee. A wee pee break. A wee pee break. Wait, nope, abort. Infamous gangster rap album straight out of hentai. Straight out of hentai. Crazy motherfucker named Link. From a gang called Link. He's usually alone. That is the joke. Dear. Well, but it's on, it's on. If you tried removing Nightbot Slims, it did suggest it. I shall bear it in mind. Okay, so yeah, I'm definitely going to that cave because if there's any rings to be found, I should get them, being on my last life and all. Okay, says Sonic. The cave it is. Oh dear. Quote. They couldn't keep me in school. I was always flipping the bird at flies and pulling the legs off nuns. Thank you for the quote, Enfys. This is one of those ones where I said that somewhere other than on stream, and yet it ended up in my quote bot anyway. Ergo, my eyes go towards Enfys. But no, seriously, thank you. Both the heroes charge off at a frightening speed. I should hope so. Speed's at 5. So, at least Sonic manages to remember the small stream and easily avoids it this time. At this rate, the journey to the caves takes exactly 1 minute, and neither of them is even out of breath. The inside of the cave is dark and dank, maybe even a bit eggy. Can't believe you're getting the blame for this thing you probably did. You can believe it, though. You 100% can believe it. And yeah, I'm thanking you anyway. I never remember it smelling this bad, says Tails. Me neither, says Sonic. After a few moments, their eyes get used to the darkness. Sonic can see a pile of rings in the corner. "At least the rings are still safe," says Sonic as he starts to pick them up. Beside the pile of rings, Sonic sees a small computer chip. Excuse me. He picks it up and looks at it. There are brief instructions printed to the side of it. Zone chip. To activate, insert 10 rings per person. Sonic may now use the zone chip at any time. To use it, cross off 10 rings for Sonic's stuff, or 20 rings if Tails is using it too. Can I just pay 10 rings and leave Tails behind? And make a note of the section you're reading before returning to 237. Just add that note. Minus 10 rings per person. So yeah, I've unlocked fast travel. Tails, however, has spotted something else. Where's the rings? How many rings do I get? Tails, however, has spotted something else. Over in the far corner is a small needle-shaped thing. It's glowing blue. I would leave that if I were you. You know, you never know what kind of junkies ended up in this cave. Sonic has managed to collect 10 rings. If you would like him to have a look at the blue needle, turn to 174. Why did I even say that quote? Jesus Christ. 174. Blue needle is glowing with a faint light on the floor of the cave. Looks very much like one of Sonic's spines. If you think the needle isn't important and should be left where it is, hurry to the chemical plant. Sonic picks up of course he picks up the needle. I'm not keeping an eye on the previous page. Shut up. How will Sonic pick up the needle? If he uses his hands, turn to 140. If he uses a pair of tweezers, if he has them, the zone chip might help. No, I'll have to use my hands. Sonic reaches down to pick up the needle. Then, at the exact moment the tip of his paw touches it, there's a loud explosion and Sonic is thrown to the far corner of the cave. Strange, says Tails. That's exactly what it did to me. The needle has been blown to bits in the explosion. Time Sonic left for the chemical plant, but before he goes, subtract 1 life or all of Sonic's rings. So yeah, back down to 0. Perhaps, however, Sonic has learned something from this. Add 1 to his coolness score. Okay, that ain't nothing. Right, off to the chemical plant zone we go. Lots of, if you choose not to do the content entries. Tails, you dick. Yeah. Could you not have given us a heads up on that, maybe? Slightly? A bit? I like that emote, Dee. Then again, I've been bad-mouthing Tails pretty much ever since he showed up, so maybe this is karma. It is not far to the gate connecting the Green Hills and the chemical plant. Strange that something as nasty as the chemical plant could be so close to the Green Hills. Okay, just because you point out the inconsistency in the lore doesn't make it okay. Up ahead, Sonic could see the start of the deep valley that led to the gate. He also knew that just around the corner would be the Spike Buggy, one of Robotnik's creations. Slow and clumsy, still dangerous. He would have to be beaten before they get to the gate. Will Sonic and Tails attack the Spike Buggy head on, or will they try to sneak past it? Let's do a fight. Go on then. Come on. Come on, come on. Yeah. Sonic and Tails have beaten the Spike Buggy so many times before that this should be a walkover. Around the corner in the valley, the familiar shape of Robotnik's creation comes into view. When Sonic first came across it, Robotnik himself used to drive the contraption, but when he kept losing, he automated the buggy to drive itself. The buggy isn't moving. Can't have seen either of our heroes yet. Creep closer and closer, and still the buggy remains absolutely motionless. What's up with it? It's never done this before, says Tails in a whisper. Patience never been his strong point. Sonic determines to investigate. That doesn't feel right as a sentence. Strange that one small, squishy, single man has been allowed to convert so much of the planet without someone shoving him off a cliffside. Well, let's find out, shall we? Charge! With that, Sonic hurls himself towards the buggy. With one graceful jump, he somersaults through the air and lands with a crunch on the buggy's roof. Crash! He disappears in a cloud of dust. Tails looks on horrified as the whole buggy collapses into a heap of scrap metal. He brings jobs to the economy, Dee Dee. Yeah, and all that money just trickles down, doesn't it? After a few seconds, Sonic emerges from the debris, covered in what? Covered in what? Okay, there's got to be another definition for that word that I don't know of. A small flake of soot or other dirt or a mark left by one. Example sentence, all those black smuts from the engine. And Dee Dee pretty much beat me to it there. Yes, there we go. It's an abandoned truck in the woods. Oh, cool, we might find some porn. I've never managed to do that before, he says. I think, says Tails, that something or someone else beat us to it. You mean the other Sonic? Says Sonic. Apparently disappointed that it wasn't him who had demolished the buggy. Looks that way. Well, if it was him, then he saved me. I mean, us the trouble then. Sonic looks awkward. Did a South African write this? I don't know. If you want to look up Nigel Gross and John Sutherland, maybe they are. Yeah, well, it says abandoned in the wood. Spuds. It would have been hilarious if he walked out of the wreck with a play hog on top of his head. It's a play hog. I suppose he has, smiles Tails. And together they walk towards the gate that would take them from the Green Hills to a place altogether less agreeable. Let's do 50, right? Play hot. Right, I get you. Playboy for hedgehogs. Well done. You have same-brained. Sonic always felt a little funny when he went from his own gate. Through his own gate. Not surprising, really. Jumping from one place to another like that without regards for the laws of nature was bound to make a hedgehog feel a little dizzy. Even if the gate didn't affect him, the stench that hit the two heroes a split second after they were in the chemical plant was enough to turn your trainers green. Everywhere, they could smell the unmistakably vile Megamac. "Fee you," says Tails. "Whiffy." Ahead of them, Sonic can see the familiar tunnels of the chemical plant disappearing into the distance. The plant is a real maze. "Which way?" said Tails, trying to keep the worst of the smell out of by pinching his nose slightly, just not the arm. "Your guess is as good as mine," replies Sonic. In front of them, the tunnel branches to the left and to the right. Stick to the left. Instant death. The tunnel slowly curves around to the left, its grey metal walls covered in a film of Megamac. There are even puddles of it on the tunnel floor. Being careful to avoid these, Sonic and Tails slowly walk along, trying to think of anything to take their minds off the awful smell. After a little while, they come to another branch in the tunnel. Want to head left. Come on. 296, there we are. This cannon? Is there a cannon? Oh god, don't answer that. The zones are connected by teleporters? I mean, we never generally see how Sonic goes from one zone to the other. in the padding section of the book. Yeah, this is where we go in an infinite loop. 296, right? Yeah. Very soon this tunnel opens into a small room. Heaped everywhere are dozens of rusting barrels with Max seeping from their rotten joints. The stench is so bad that even the air seems heavy. I don't think even Robotnik would have come in here by choice, says Tails, still holding his nose. Should Sonic and Tails explore this room or should they leave? They should explore. Braving the smell, Sonic and Tails gingerly explore the dank little room. Roll the die and add the result to Sonic's good looks. We're looking for a 6 or more. Unfortunately, my sexy score is only 2, so no, failed. You're in a maze of twisty passages, all alike. There is no way I'm staying in a place a second longer. This place, I can't talk, says Sonic. I mean, look at the mess. If I'm not careful, I'll get these trainers dirty or worse. Tails sighs. Okay then, Sonic, let's get going. Both of them can walk out of the storeroom. Sonic's vanity can be a little bit of a pain at times, thinks Tails. 101. You mean I've got to write 400 paragraphs? Can't 200 of them be mazes? Also, do. Hang on. There we go. Sonic insists Tails flies him out of the room. You're my butler now. After what seems like ages, the tunnel opens out into a huge domed room. Its walls are lined with a maze of pipes. The air is filled with hissing and gurgling and the sound of distant machinery. Definitely not a nice place. I'm beginning to wonder if it was such a good idea to come in here, says Tails. Sonic looks around and thinks. So far they haven't seen a single sign of the imposter Sonic since they entered the plant. If it wasn't for the fact that the buggy had been broken, Sonic would have doubted whether the imposter existed at all. Maybe it was just Tails in his imaginations. He has multiple. He must have come this way, Tails. All we've got to do is find him. Oh look, 100 is a goddamn maze. Tails, who was still holding his nose, replies, well, I hope we find this other Sonic soon. I don't think that I can stand this smell much longer. Now, since Tails had had his nose pinched, the word sounded a little different. Tails had meant to say Sonic, but what he actually said was Zonik. At least we got a name for the imposter now. We'll call him Zonik. And just to bring up Sonic the Comic once more, there was something of an imposter, mild spoilers, claiming to be Sonic's brother, named Tonic. Which I have to assume is somebody's, drunken Sonic Sona. The room that they are in is truly enormous, and even after about 10 minutes walking, they still cannot see the other side. And all the time the sound of machinery gets louder and louder. I'm not so sure we should be going this way. That noise doesn't sound very friendly, said Tails. Sonic smiles and replies, and how about we go this way then? Sonic points to the ground, very obviously pleased with himself at spotting the small trapdoor half hidden under a pile of rags, a little off to the left. Tails could get annoyed at the way Sonic showed off sometimes, and he was just trying to think of something to say to put his friend in his place when he spotted the ideal thing. Or what about that one you're standing on? Sonic looks down at his feet. Yes, he says after a short pause. Or that one! To go down the trapdoor under the pile of rags or the one that Sonic is standing on? Pile of rags. What are they hiding? Does he move at the speed of booze? Yes. You're Aladdin's Sonic OC. Gin and tonic. Do not steal. Boo. Boo-hiss. The trapdoor opens easily to reveal a small spiral staircase leading down into the darkness. The staircase goes down and down, then down some more, and it gradually starts to get hotter. Sonic has a torch. Yeah. If he doesn't have a torch, then roll the die and add agility. 6 or more, so I need 4. I didn't get it. That was a 1. Well, it'll take me about 30 fucking rolls to win any of these. 1 minute, Sonic is walking down the steps. It looks like he's got a wee beard. Look at that. I mean, Tails already had a beard, so. 1 minute, Sonic is walking down the steps. The next, he and Tails are falling through the blackness. Sploosh! Oh no! What's this? Shouts Sonic. Smells bad, replies Tails. In the darkness, Sonic can just see his friend's face a few meters away. Sonic and Tails have fallen in a puddle of mac. Bad news. Tucked 1 point from Sonic's good looks. Dang it. Because he looks a wreck at the moment. Unfortunately, there aren't any mirrors around, so both of them will just have to put up with the mess for a while. Up ahead, there's another tunnel and no time for them to waste. 36. Tunnels here are much smaller than before, and lit only by the eerie glow of the Mac. Sonic and Tails walk cautiously along the narrow raised walkway that stands about 2 meters above the floor of the tunnel. Sonic looks down at his trainers. Ugh, he really will have to do something about them as soon as he gets a chance. Tails doesn't look much better either. Sonic is about to say something when there's a loud clang behind them. Spinning round, Sonic is just quick enough to see a massive steel shutter door drop behind them, cutting off the retreat. Both of the little heroes look at each other, and then Tails says, "What's that?" He tilts his head, listening intently. "What's what?" replies Sonic. "That gurgling noise," answers Tails, his ears swiveling around to pick up the source of the sound. Sonic can hear it now as well. "Search me, there are lots of strange noises around here. Come on, we've got to get moving. I need to find somewhere to sort out these trainers." Most of the following sections you will see a asterisk symbol. Every visit to one of these sections counts as 1 point. If any point it came back. It returned. Return of the back. God damn it. Okay, so if a section has an asterisk, we add a point. If the point score exceeds 20, if greater 20, 2, 8, 8. Tunnel branches to the left and the right. You want them to follow the left tunnel, 2, 3, 9. Of course I want them to follow the left tunnel. 2, 3, 9, add a point. The walls of the tunnel form a perfect tube. They are made of some dull greyish metal streaked with horrible smears of dried on mag. Look a little bit like Robotnik's white coat with all its egg stains. Ugh. After a while, the tunnel branches in 2. One tunnel carries straight. Oh no, they're taking away my ability to left. Bastards. Right, 194 because it's the closest thing to left. Yeah, add another point. No sooner has the last junction disappeared behind them than another appears before the brave heroes. This one has 2 forks. Left. Another point. This tunnel looks like the one they've just left. It'd be really easy to get lost here. There are 2 exits out of this part of the complex. Carry straight up, straight on, closest to left. Oh boy, another point. Still looks a bit more promising. Wider than the other, so Tails and Sonic can walk side by side. The gurgling sound continues, and it's fairly obvious that the Mac is gradually getting higher. After about 100 meters, the tunnel opens into a large circular chamber. Left. And another point. We're up to 5 now. Another left. Hold on a second. If you have more than 20 points, blah blah blah. Left. Oh shit, now I'm going in circles. And I need to add a point. Okay, I need to take different routes now. Can't just keep going left. Point. Another tunnel, another fork at the end of it. This place is such a maze. Tail looks down at the Mac. It's a good deal higher than the last time he looked. Yep. Don't worry. I'm only on 7 points so far. It's fine. Everything's fine. Yeah, I will actually just go right. You've broken me. Oh bollocks! I've been there already. Shouldn't have done that. Keep straight on, and I'll just add another point. As soon as the last junction disappeared behind them, then another appears before the brave heroes. This one has 2 forks. Oh shit, I've been to both of these before, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. $272, I remember that one. Now we're up to 10 points now. We'll try 21. After what seems like ages, the tunnel emerges at last into a very large room. The ceiling is so far above their heads that neither Sonic nor Tails can see the top of it. The walkway carries on to the centre, where there are no less than 4 possible exits. Where should they go now? Well, we know 100 is the start of a maze, but that's kind of metagaming. The bubbling of Mac's bong as he gets higher. This is a children's book, I'll have you know. Okay. I think 179 we haven't been to yet. Maybe. Maybe. Another tunnel, another fork at the end of it. Place is such a... Yeah, we've been here before. I don't think we've been to 10. Let's try that. Sonic and Tails have been in the maze for ages now. Mac is getting dangerously close to their feet and they still don't know the way out. They're getting desperate. Did they follow the main tunnel or go into the smaller tunnel off to the left? Big tunnel. Oh, there we go. Don't have to add a point this time. Animaniacs was children's programming too, and they got away with so much. Exception. Absolute exception. Slowly the tunnel gets wider and wider and begins to climb uphill. The level of the Mac begins to drop as they climb. Finally, they turn one more corner in the tunnel and they come face to face with a huge archway. "I know this place!" exclaims Sonic. "The gate to the aquatic ruin isn't far from here. We've made it, Tails!" Through the archway, they can almost smell the fresh air already. So, just wasted a lot of time in the chemical plant zone, but it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, fingerprints, exactly. Sonic definitely knows where he is now. Through the archway, they find themselves in a wide, low corridor. The walls are still made of the same dull metal, but there's no Mac, and everywhere is brightly lit by neon lights in the ceiling. Sonic points towards the end of the corridor. "All we gotta do is get to the end, go for a little door on the right, and we'll be at the gate," he says. He and Tails set off, deeply relieved to be out of the maze. Up ahead, the corridor bends sharply to the left. Just around that court. Sonic suddenly falls silent, hearing voices approaching. There are two voices. One is deep and metallic, the other, well, it seems familiar to Sonic, but he can't quite place it. Crouching just out of sight around the corner, the heroes are unable to see who was speaking. Sonic, that voice, says Tails, his own voice quivering, slightly frightened at what he's about to tell Sonic. It sounds just like... He pauses. Like you. What will our brave friends do? Should they wait and listen to what's being said? Or should they rush around the corner and confront the mysterious pair? I've got no ring, so I'm gonna stealth it. So now I have you. Grr, at last, says the deep metallic voice. It will be a great pleasure to see you in my web. You are so uncool, Nick Grabber. You know that, don't you? Replies the other voice, which does sound very like Sonic's own. I think I shall make you a small piece cooler, my friend. Grr! The metallic voice is cut short by a huge crash. 19. Unable to control his natural curiosity, Sonic darts around the corner to see what's going on, closely followed by Tails. They come face to face with Grabber, the zone's resident steel spider in a real hard case. He's lying on his back, all 8 metal legs flailing in the air. Above him is a blue blur. The blur, moving at fantastic speed, spins through the air and lands with a mighty thump on Grabber's head, sending sparks and bits of metal flying in all directions. Outstanding! Sonic says aloud. I'm glad you think so, says the blue hedgehog, now standing on the shattered remains of Grabber. That's him! The one that attacked me! Exclaims Tails. Will Sonic and Tails attack Zonik? Or will they wait to see what happens? Charge! Rounded the faker. So he is painted, clearly. No one told the cover people. Just realised we've had no music in the background for a while because I forgot to turn it back on. And as such, my headphones decided to turn off. Where were we? The Sonic that touched me and made me burn. Jesus Christ. Face to face with the imposter at last, Sonic is unable to control himself and lunges into attack. Sonic casually steps to one side, leaving Sonic to charge by harmlessly. You are going to have to do better than that, says Sonic, but he makes no attempt to attack Sonic. Back on balance, Sonic tries again, this time with a more skillful spin. But again, Sonic sidesteps the attack. Now, says Sonic, raising a finger pointed straight at Sonic, is not the time. With that, he launches into an enormous spin that sends him over Sonic's head, past the hovering Tails. In a second, he is gone. By the time Sonic is recovered, there's no sign of Zonik. What could he have meant by, this is not the time? What indeed? They're gonna softball them in. I keep swinging. What indeed? Neither Sonic nor Tails really knows what to make of all this. One thing that's for sure is that Zonik has to be stopped, though how they're going to do it remains to be seen. Through the gate to the aquatic ruin, the sea breeze hits them like a breath of fresh air. Or rather, it should have done. Instead, all they could smell was oil. Looks like the oil ocean to me, Sonic. I thought you said this was going to be the aquatic ruin, says Tails. Well, it should be, replies a rather puzzled Sonic. In front of them stretches the coastline, usually lapped by brilliant blue seas. Today the sea has turned black, like oil. Looks like oil, smells like oil, says Tails, bending down to dip a paw into the edge of the sea. It feels like oil too. Okay, so it's oil, says Sonic, a little irritated. Normal route down to the submerged city lies straight in front of them. About 100 meters over to the right, a small sailing boat lies on the beach. Let's investigate the boat. Hello, Hans. Tastes like oil. Hello, Rizalka. Maritime zone. It seems so. No. Speaking. The small sailing boat has been dumped on the beach for some reason. Nothing seems to be wrong from first impressions, but both of the heroes are a little wary all the same. You know anything about boats? Oh, bollocks. Because I got the names mixed up. You know anything about boats? Tails asks Sonic. Yeah, of course, replies Sonic, who knew they floated and hoped that was enough. Together, they pushed the boat into the glooping mess that was now the ocean. See? Ugh. See? No, that doesn't sound right to me. I don't really have a proper American accent impression that I can bring up. No problem! Boat starts to move out to sea, even though there was no breeze in its small sail. Interesting detail to point out. Book. Yeah, it's touch on the padding side. Not as bad as the maze, but the little boat bobs its way quite happily across the sea, apparently just as good as floating on oil as on water. Neither Sonic nor Tails has any idea how long the voyage is going to take. The aquatic ruin is huge, and it always took Sonic and Tails ages to get through the normal way. Sonic is Right, so hold on, is this a sailboat or a speedboat? Because they never mentioned this bit before. Very much implied sailboat. American, you say? Sure. Hi, Emily, welcome in. Sonic is pondering this problem when the sea suddenly bursts into a fountain right in front of the boat. A split second later, it's followed by a sleek silver shape. Shape makes straight for the boat, a huge mouth opening to reveal row upon row of sharp teeth. In an instant, the boat is hit, and the prow becomes a radically different shape. Chop chop! Exclaims Tails, for some reason. Oh, Chop Chop, that's his name. Look, the writers and the artists weren't on speaking terms. You have questions about the word sexy written on the side. Did Sonic wish for lube and the ocean became oil? No. That is my stats. The official term for it is actually good looks. I just wrote sexy because it fit in the column. Yeah, I was realizing he's in a choose your own adventure. I don't think this thing's gonna let us get away. I think we're gonna have to fight. Sonic and Tails attack Chop Chop. Chop Chop's fighting score is 6. If you're unsure what to do, look at the beginning of the book for instructions. I could use a refresher now I think about it. And I hope this goes well, because I've only got 1 life. Hello, Aliada Allison123. Welcome in. How you doing? I'm not bad. I'm unable to speak properly tonight, and yet I've decided to read out of a book, which is an odd choice. So yes, fighting. I remember saying something about picking an ability. Yeah, fighting score, well, the number. Add it to the ability score that Sonic is using. Does it tell me? It doesn't tell me one, so I'm just going to use my best one. Where am I from? I'm from Scotland, Glasgow specifically. Been running on 1 life for 40 years. You'll be fine. Doing great. Excellent. Okay, 5, 7. That beats their score. Higher, equal to enemies that have hit them. Sonic is hit by Chop Chop, turn to there. If we win the fight, by which I assume hit them once, that'll do. Oh, and you're from the US, Cali. Excellent. Must be nice and sunny there. Got a preference on name? Like Aliana, Allison? Whatever you're comfortable with, just let us know. It was not easy seeing off Chop Chop. The deck of a small boat not being the ideal place from which to fight. The boat hasn't fared so well, unfortunately, and now has several large holes in it. I hope we find somewhere to land soon, says Tails, looking at the battered hull. What about that small island over there? Replies Sonic. Tails strains his eyes, and sure enough, there is an island. At least luck's on our side today, whispers Tails to himself. Off to 40. Small sandy island looms on the horizon, and in no time the brave duo are only 100 or so meters away. If Sonic and Tails are still on a small boat, 137. If it's sunk already, it's not sunk already. So 137. This choose your own Sonic? It basically is, Nevik. Welcome in. Yeah, I always try to shy away a little from choose your own adventure. If only because they've been quite litigious in the past. You're really wanting to hold on to that trademark. And probably were back in the day as well, hence why this is Adventure Gamebook. There we go. They've just reached the island in time. Or have they? A few meters from the shore, the boat finally calls it a day and starts to sink. Tails starts to hover, and will reach the island without any difficulty. Sonic, however, must jump, and it's a long way. Agility. Unfortunately, my agility score is 2. And so I need to roll a 5 or more. No. I have to get the drowning music ready. Despite a massive effort by Sonic, he tumbles into the oil just millimeters from the shore. The oil is only shallow, but the splash covers him in the stuff from head to foot. Subtract 1 point from Sonic's good looks. I'm literally on 0 there now. Turn to 128. How long have I been a streamer for? I think about 2 years now. Yeah, I tried once or twice in like 2017 or something like that, and then I started doing it really regularly, and as in at all regularly. It was still a bit of an iffy thing schedule-wise in 2020. So actually, yeah, coming up for 3 years. But I defend the trademark or you lose it. Yeah, it's a kind of fucked way of doing the law, but it is what they do. Yeah, I never did set up a follow age command. That's the point of it. And you've been subscribed for like 14 months. Yep. Nightbot going to behave itself this time? Is Nightbot just having a time? That was going on. The CEO of it is the woman who made the Who Killed series. I've not heard of that one. I'll do you another quote. Nightbot may well be drunk. Oh no, it's actually drunk for me and all. Okay, I'm just going to check something. Nightbot outage. It's just you, Nightbot.tv is up. Well, that's checking the site, so that's not necessarily the same. Up and reachable by us. Yeah, it's those virtual murder games you've been playing. Oh, right. That's what they're called. Oh, who killed... Oh, God. I got you now. My mind was on books. Right. Yes, here we are. Might have some ideas for my channel. Mind if you share? Not right now. Like I'm in the middle of a stream, so. No, thank you for the concern, but no, I'm going to skip on that. Pleasant as it is, Sonic and Tails are still trapped on the island, and they need to find a way off it fairly quickly. There are two paths leading away from the beach. Should Sonic and Tails follow the path to the west, or the one to the east? I'm just going to roll this one actually. 1, 2, 3 west. West it is. Hey boss, not even remotely working. Well, half of them are called Virtual Murder and the later two are called Murder Mystery. Not sure why I changed names. Because people got bored. Sandy path leads into the jungle, running beneath huge palm trees. This is the sort of place that coconuts would like to hang out, and then both of them keep a wary eye on the treetops. In fact, they're so intent looking above them that the first thing either of them knew, the treasure chest. I'm going to try that sentence again. In fact, they are so intent looking above them that the first I ever knew of the treasure chest was when Tails walked straight into it with a thump. Ow! Says Tails, stubbing his paw against the half-buried chest. Sonic looks at the large wooden chest that stands right in the middle of the pathway. Now who would put a treasure chest in such an obvious position? Perhaps they dropped it, says Tails, rubbing his paw. Or, says Sonic, they, whoever they are, wanted us to find it. I predict trap, but I'm gonna have a look anyway. I think they have the same publisher. That would make sense. Leaning forward, Sonic gingerly reaches out with a paw and tries the lid of the chest. Not locked. Here we go then, says Sonic. With a flick of the wrist, the lid is open. Thank you very much for the follow. Peer inside, you can see gold. 10 rings to be precise. Hooray, I have rings again. Add these to Sonic's stuff. And go to 80. I'm not interested in any graphic designer work just now, and in any case I would have someone in mind if I wanted to, but thank you. Thanks for the hydrate, DD. After another short walk, the pathway opens into a large clearing in the jungle. In the middle is a small hut made of twigs, leaves and other bits and pieces from the forest. From the small chimney comes a thin wisp of white smoke. Must be someone at home. Should Sonic and Tails go and see who lives in the hut? Or should they carry on looking? Oh, absolutely. Go in there. Have a cup of tea and a chin wag. One ring to rule them all, one ring to find them all, and about 100 to explode out of Sonic to keep him from dying. It'd be nice, but I've got 10. Inside of the hut is very dim, and although Sonic and Tails strain their eyes, they cannot see very far inside. They can hear something breathing and moving about. Raising his paw, Sonic knocks politely on the door. Who is it? Flutters a voice from inside. It's the muffled voice of a person with a cold. Sonic! Sharp nudge in the room surrounds Sonic to say. Sonic! And Tails, of course! Come in then, says the voice. It takes a few seconds for their eyes to get used to the darkness of the hut, but then Sonic and Tails can see a small, homely room. Sitting in a well-stuffed armchair is the owner of the hut. What does the French say? D-strings! Whiffy! Sonic, they're sick. Steal all their coins. No, that's RPG behavior. I'm Whiffy. Pleased to meet you, the furry black and white creature says, holding a paw out towards Sonic. Hello, replies Sonic. I've heard a lot about you, says Whiffy. I used to live in the Green Hills a few years ago, but being a skunk doesn't tend to make you very popular, so I came to live here. Whiffy goes on to tell Sonic and Tails that he's seen lots of Robotnik's badniks around lately, and that they seem to be looking for something, although unfortunately he doesn't know what. After a long chat, Whiffy gives Sonic a map. This will show you the way to a speedboat that's moored on the other side of the island. There are even instructions on how to drive it on the other side of the map. Coins, rings, same difference. Rings are just coins with holes in them. But you can take the bit out in the middle of the ring and use that to make more rings. Just as Sonic and Tails are about to leave, Whiffy says, Oh, one more thing. Take this. It might come in useful sometime. He hands over a small brown bottle with a cork jammed tightly into it. Brown bottle. 28. Following Whiffy's well-drawn map, our heroes have no trouble finding the secret little cove, and sure enough, tied up against one side of is a sleek and powerful speedboat. Following the rest of Whiffy's instructions, the pair set off eastwards. Compared to the sailing boat, this one zooms along like the wind. We saw the other boat, it had a speedboat engine. Oh, dead auto captions. Cock jam. God, what was I even saying to make that happen? And I've actually got a preview of what the captions are saying, so it said I said cock jam, had a B on the end. I don't even know what that word means. Also, I've just noticed something. I've still got the green that I used for System Shock. And I think we could do something a bit more appropriate. But I have to find the remote that makes that happen. I need to actually regulate my volume so that I only speak loudly when I'm away from the microphone. Remote, where are you? Where are you, remote? Also, I've got no goddamn clue what's going on with this music anymore. Cork jammed. Blue, you read my mind, Rizalka. I think this is it. There we go. What colour is Cock Jam? Black and blue, mostly. We'll be there in no time at this rate, shouts Tails, straining to make his voice heard above the roar of the boat's engines. Above them, the sky is a perfect blue, except for an odd little grey cloud. Sonic looks at it. Something about the cloud wasn't quite right. Will Sonic take the speedboat to look at the cloud? Yes. All the side quests. Carefully, Sonic steers the boat towards the cloud. The closer they get, the odder the cloud looks. It appears almost solid and doesn't change shape like a cloud should. Then, when they are almost right underneath it, the cloud suddenly shimmers and disappears. There's a bright flash. Rubbing his eyes, Sonic looks up again and sees in its place a bright silver hover ship, just like the one Robotnik is in the habit of flying around in. So, this is where you've got to, is it? Booms out a mechanical voice from the ship. It's Robotnik! What will Sonic and Tails do? Will they stay and speak to Robotnik? Or will they try and sail away? We'll get you next time! I haven't used the warp chip, but I've only got 10 rings, so I would be abandoning Tails to his fate. Which I'm pretty sure isn't an option. Hence how old it is. First, kind of black and blue, then that sickly green or whatever. You're colorblind. You figure just like a stubbed toe. I do as well. I don't want to think about it, really. No, the black and the blue is from the cock getting jammed in something and bruising. That is what happened. Okay. Do. Alright, we'll chat him up. We'll see what happens. I've been looking for you. You must get back to the Metropolis Zone and help with the cloning, booms out the voice. Roll the die twice and add the score to Sonic's quick wits. 3, 4, 4. So 11. The result is 7 or more? Yes, 277. He hinks we're Zonik. Okay, I'm just gonna double check if we're still on Sonic Chill music. We are. It's from Sonic and the Black Knight, which is why I didn't recognize it. Figured the blue was from Blue Balls. Or from Sonic. You can only make cock jam out of blue balls. Yeah, our shared brain cell is gutter as fuck tonight. Okay, 277. Quick as a flash, Sonic realizes that Robotnik has mistaken him for the evil Zonik. Pushing Tails down out of sight, he replies, I am sorry, Master. I'll make my way there right now. Make sure you do. I have important business elsewhere to attend to. When I return, you had better be there. And also try to keep out of sight. You've already done far too much damage, especially to the aquatic zone. Sorry, Master, I got carried away, says Sonic. That's as may be, but I shall have to put it right now. The voice pauses. Don't worry, your time will come soon. The voice tries to sound friendly. Now, off to the Metropolis Zone, and quickly. With that, the hover ship zooms off. Tails sits up and looks at Sonic. The Metropolis Zone? He says, rather confused. Yes, and as quick as we can, replies Sonic. Page 65. We've not died yet, so we're actually doing better than I thought we would. Ta-da! Hello, welcome in. The gutter brain cells is making being awake at 6:30 AM interesting. Even Robotnik can't tell flesh from metal, but it's painted. It me, I'm Sonic. New glass knobs you bought are arriving today. Alright. I didn't say anything. 65. Shit. I think I've picked the wrong one. Let's see if I can remember. Right. 65. Metropolis Zone, 65. Casino Zone. Okay. Tails sees the gate to the Casino Zone first and points it out to Sonic. The glaring neon signs above are a very welcoming sight. Without slowing down at all, Sonic aims the boat straight at the gate. We're going to crash! Screams Tails. No, we're not! Shouts Sonic. In a split second before they reach the gate, Sonic grabs Tails and goes into a spin that carries both him and his furry friend flying through the gate. Here we run into why you suck at these books you can't keep track. Yeah, I basically have to keep a finger on my previous chapter, otherwise, good chance I'll forget. Move so fast as a blue shift, obviously. Ah, of course. My god, Brief, you can stop galaxy braining for 1 second. Sonic and Tails fly through the gate and land in an undignified heap. You're meant to be going to Metropolis. What the fuck are you doing in Casino now? Looking around, they see that they have indeed arrived in the casino, like they weren't meant to. It is lit up by multicolored lights and there are signs all over the place showing the way to various attractions. You know, Tails, says Sonic, I always quite like this place. Come on, let's have a look around. With that, Sonic is off, leaving a still dazed Tails to hurry after him. After a few seconds, Sonic spots a large fruit machine against a wall. Will Sonic go and play it, or will he ignore it? You're opening one of your drawers that happens to have glass knobs, except the drawer was stuck and you trying to pull harder managed to break one of them and cut your hand. Oh, nasty. Yeah, we'll have a go. Even if it loses us the ability to zone chip. We've got a fast travel, but it costs 10 rings. Fruit machine is lit up like a Christmas tree and Sonic becomes mesmerized by it. They celebrate Christmas on Mobius. Each game costs 1 ring and Sonic cannot resist the temptation. Roll the dice, the die twice. It adds up to 4 or less, 84, 5 or more, the other thing. 2, 5 or more. And 9 rings now. 5 or more, 199. Fruit machine whirs into action while Sonic and Tails are staring at it. Sonic loses. He plays the fruit machine again, 171. If he thinks there's a waste of time. Nope. Sunk cost fallacy! I'll just speed run this. Try another one. There's another. 3. Nope. One more. Oh, promising. Yay! Can go to the other one. It'll tell me I lost as well. It's better pay out big. Fruit machine whirs into action while Sonic and Tails stare at it. A winner! Roll the die twice and add your scores together. This is the number of rings the fruit machine pays out. God fucking... Okay, 7. That's not so bad. So, at least made a profit. But that is enough time. Sonic's crippling gambling addiction doesn't often feature in the games. I mean, it kinda does. Like, all the special zones from Sonic 3 Knuckles have... Well, no, just the one of them has a gambling element. And of course, there's the entirety of the casino or casino adjacent zones. You're consistently amused at how extremely UK the writing in this book is. What's Pat? And in the past thick hour. I had no idea hours could be thick. You had to verify and the offers are very UK. Ah, fair enough. Last you saw that Sonic had just saved Tails and they figured out the minion from Robotnik must be behind it all. So we went to Chemical Plant Zone, got lost, we went to Aquatic Zone, met a skunk, got given a boat to use, and now we're in Casino Night Zone. USians don't tend to use terms like trainers, Wi-Fi, or fruit machine. Yeah, that makes sense. I love the pictures that we have to flip through spoiling future potential story parts. I mean, there's spoilers all around the page. Wasn't too bad, just like you had several paper cuts in that palm. Hadn't even noticed until it cut you until you were cleaning up and realised you had blood all over your hand. Just suddenly appeared. Even as you knew you were cleaning up glass, your brain came back with, where did this come from? Gambles so much he's his own pinball. He is. And glass squares of blues and greens. Now you've gotten rainbow balls. You believe I mean Sonic the Hedgehog and Knuckles 3 and Knuckles. Turbo DX Special Edition. Sailed the oil ocean, somehow. Seems like good progress through the zones. Well, sailed and motored, yes. Deary me. Shit, was it 97? Shit. Hang on. Yeah, it was 97. No, but just looks like something else entirely. For he thinks you should stop wasting time, turn to 97. That doesn't look right at all. Using every bit of charm he's got, Sonic manages to persuade the man. Sonic discovers that he's the casino's commissionaire, a very important person. Sonic tells the commissionaire that it was Zonik, then not him, that was responsible for all the damage to the casino. Furthermore, Sonic offers to help the commissionaire put right all the damage. We turn over a couple of pages here. What the fuck happened? Happy Sonic's 30th anniversary, I guess. Yeah. Motorboats on an oil sea is dangerous. One spark and your boat's cooked. Everything's fucking cooked in that instance. Well, it's a good point. I hadn't thought of that. Commissioner explains that Zonik has ransacked most of the casino and scared away all its customers. All the damage must be put right, and quickly. Sonic and Tails will help him. The Commissioner will be pleased to return the favour. To help them, he gives them 50 credits. 50 credits. Something to be said for the books that would only assign one story section per page. Though it would also be a great waste of paper if you had very quick "you died" moments. Or mazes. Gambling commissionaire. While Sonic and Tails are in the casino, they can be used just like rings. Unfortunately, they are worthless anywhere else. 274. The Commissioner stands aside, allowing our heroes to enter the pinball hall. In the casino, pinball is far more than simply a table with a steel ball rolling around in it. Here, the player is the ball. Alright, who called it? I know they were probably referring to Sonic Speedball, but who called it? The worst damage is in the big table, says the Commissioner. All the traps are deadly now, so be very careful. Taking the man's advice, Sonic and Tails climb into the entrance to the machine. If credits can be used like rings, can I use them instead of losing a life? Because it says I can use them like rings in the casino. Well, obvious use for Sonic. Yeah, but there's an actual game behind it. Precisely, only while I'm in the casino. I'm going to decide that is the case. And I can take damage and just lose all my credits instead. Good luck! Shouts the Commissioner. I'll meet you over at the other end. Sonic looks at the steep ramp along which both he and Tails will soon be catapulted. Here we go then! Let's roll! He says, reaching up towards the start button. How hard will Sonic press the button? Fairly hard. Sonic reaches over and presses the large red button marked start. Gives it a fairly hard push. There's a click and then a rumble behind them. Suddenly there's a loud whoosh. A blast of air catches Tails and Sonic, carries them up the ramp towards the start of the game. It's a lot gentler than the old spring, yells Sonic. Though judging from Tails' expression, he's not convinced. But if you die in the casino, you'll die in real life. It's a myth. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Out-logicked. After a couple of seconds, the wind starts to fade away and our heroes slow down as the top of the ramp approaches. Just when it seems like they aren't going to make it, the ramp curves back on itself and they find themselves falling. That's worrying. There we go. Sonic's touch on the start button was perfection. Our heroes have rolled onto the table at just the right speed. They glide perfectly through a bonus zone. 10 rings appear from thin air and tumble onto the platform beneath the bonus. Add them to Sonic's stuff. Excellent. 22 rings. A second later, Sonic and Tails touch down as well. Cool, says Tails. No, mega cool, corrects Sonic. Light ticket bought? Yes, excellent. Wait, they give you tokens to use, but gave you rings now? I ain't questioning it. I got rings. From there, they can choose one of gold. Okay. Left screwed us over last time, so I'm going to go with right. Platform's only a short drop, and both of our friends make it easily. Below them, they can see the game stretching away into the distance. To the right, they can see a row of targets. Directly below, there's a spinner. Drop it to the spinner, see what happens. There we go. Sonic and Tails find themselves in the game's central spinner. It looks like a massive fairground roundabout. There are 5 exits from the spinner back into the game, each of which is spring-loaded, so make sure our friends are careful. Both of them have played this game already, but they must remember that Zonik has been there before them, which makes it an altogether more dangerous place to be. Sonic and Tails are now committed to playing the game. There are only 2 ways out, and one of them is unthinkable. Each time they visit a part of the game, write down the number of the sections so that you know you've been there already. They may not use the gold exit until they've scored 100 points in the game. Are tokens Disney dollars? Yeah, they're Disney Fun Bucks. Make a note of the points they score. Which exit should they use to leave the game? Let's write all this down. Exits. We can't do the gold exit yet until we've got 100 points. So 295. Sonic and Tails speed out into the game at terrific speed. Everything is a blur, and only at the very last minute does Sonic see a large target flashing with bright red lights. First Sonic, and then Tails, hits the target square in the middle. This is the first time that Sonic and Tails have been to this target. They score 10 This is going to be a long time, isn't it? Points. 10. Now roll the die and add Sonic's agility. 8. Less than 6 must turn to 283. That's ominous. 6 or more. Then Sonic and Tails may either go either to a bouncer, to another bouncer, or spring back. Well, bouncer or bouncer. Let's go with bouncer. You're off to bed. Okay, Nightbreed, thank you again for the raid. And in fact, just for a change of pace, we shall have another shout out. For Bree is nice and deserves another shout out. And another clip.
Well, in any case, it looks like there's nothing around here. So
Also Bree cosplays.
I'm going to be backtracking. How long have we had in?
It's just a weird case of sometimes clips end up there. Been a while since your hair was blonde. You only went purple like within the last month, right? I know how time works, right? Bunching himself up into a ball, Sonic tries to spring as he tumbles through the air. The bouncer looms in front of him, and somehow he manages to grab hold of it, with Tails hanging on to his feet for all he's worth. They've made it. Score 5 points if this is the first time they've been here. Is. I mean, technically it's blonde now, but your roots have grown out a bit. Anyway, night for real now. Good night, Bree. Goodbye, bread friend. Thank you for the hydrate, Sewa. Should they aim at another bouncer above them? Yeah. Yeah, they should. Someone just noticed you cut off most of your hair yesterday. Wasn't a man, was it? They tend to be quite bad for that sort of thing. We worry about talking about time with a series and as its main characters jump out of the level if you take too long. And I was just thinking about going on a break as well. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I'll come back and the book will just completely blanked itself. Also, sorry, I didn't notice that the Go Full Glasgow thing is, so I'm going to have to try and guess how long a minute is. Starting if you knew. Nah, it was a lady. Oh, well, that happens and all. And, you know, in fairness, sometimes it's no notice with a woman talking about men as well. I've had it when I've cut my hair and a woman's no noticed. It does happen. I'll break first if I need it. No, I'll finish this off and then so ignore that notification. I'll go for a minute-ish. As best I can guess it. And then can do a break. Frankly, you'd pay the cost to that book if you spontaneously went blank because you dared to take a break. I mean, for the sheer novelty of it, I'd probably do the same. Just like, alright, let's see if this happens. Shite, was it 36 or 37? Ebook feature, that's true. Oh, thank you. I was thinking about cutting it, but I thought it actually looks pretty good because I just done the beard, right? And I thought, oh well, I'll have to do the hair as well. And then I actually looked at it and thought, oh, that's sitting nice. Right, I think. Is it 36 or 37? Bollocks. Uh, 37 based on the content. They're both bouncers, but I'll go with 37 then. Only a short way to this bouncer, and both of them make it easily, scoring 5 points if this is the first time. Roll the dive, scores 1 or 2. Must turn to 298. Head for a bouncer some way above them, or return to the central spinner. 189 sounds familiar. Have we been to that one? Oh wait, they're both applicable. Applicable. Not trying to take the piss, I'm just genuinely interested in how to pronounce the things that the typo has made. Applicable. You're done typing. It happens. Sometimes hands rebel. Bunching himself up into a ball, Sonic tries to spring as he tumbles through the air. The bouncer looms in front of him and he manages to grab hold of it. Okay, we have been to that one, so we'll just ignore that and we'll go to... We'll go back to 36 then. Actually, no, that only works the first time. Forget it, retcon, nothing happened. Shoot runs all the way down the side of the game. Tails and Sonic move faster and faster. Alright! Yells Sonic as they approach the bottom. Here the chute curves back out into the middle and the brave adventurers find themselves flying through the air once more.
Don't die.
Don't die. I'll bear in mind. A large round target looms up in front of them and they strike it fair and square, scoring 10 points if this is the first time they've been here. It was... Or was it 185? Fucking hell. Okay. Central spinner 124. Right, that's where we should go. Okay, we've done red. We're only at 20 points, so this might be a while. Assumed it was the death pit. Just a regular pit. That's far less interesting. Now you're disassociating from words is happening. You can't help but focus on the fact that applicable has the W. Word cable inside. An applicable. Cable is applicable to the application. Alright, that's a sign that I need to go for a break. So I'm going to do that. Same rules apply. Get yourself a drink, a snack, walk around, stretch your legs, take care of your meds if you haven't already. I will see you in a bit. Enjoy some clips. Roll for puppy.
Gear activated.
Go to the. Yep. No, go to.
Fucking
Yep. Go to that.
get free transitions for no good reason.
It's up.
Look, I know a pentagram when I see one.
That wasn't a pentagram. It had too many lines on
It was a pentagram in spirit.
it.
Our implementation. I was so cocky with that little backflip at the end though. It's like, I'm there, I'm safe, I'm out of harm's way. Boom! Now there's a crater where my face should be. Yeah, worth pointing out that one of my major shortcomings in previous boss battles was I was dancing about like an idiot trying to keep my health up and not actually attacking the boss. You don't have to do damage to them to win, as it turns out. How's the night shift? So much piss. I know those statements weren't related, but it feels like it. Well, what? I'm watching you. This D&D. You want a new dice too, but you're saving coin for overseas trip. That is fair. I'm starting to. Also, people can tell you to get in the fucking sea, and you can just answer, okay. I did not expect this thing to hop like a mad bastard. Oh, that was unexpected. Maybe it'll eventually make its way up there, who knows? Dance, this is Siege Machine dance. Everybody dance now. Bow, 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 bow. Copyright strike. No luck with the soup, it would seem. I'll roll myself a free one.
Soup.
Really? Also, once you get a hand on the what? Huh? Shit, well, where the fuck? I literally did not see that I'd walked into this thing. Ah, piss. I got treed. I got fucking treed. Oh, friend. Save the baby.
Take care of yourself, buddy.
Yeah. Baby eagle do 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 do. See, now it's just
Are you trying to say, Noah, that you like Leon? Thank you for the welcome back. Okay, thank you for the welcome back, Titi. No comment. So, yellow exit. Try that one next. Tunanan. There we go. Sonic and Tails speed out into the game at terrific speed. Everything is at this seems ridiculously familiar. 10 points if this is the first time you've been here. Yes. And roll a die. The 6. And yeah, it's 6 or more. Either bouncer, another bouncer, and all this is sounding extremely familiar. So I'm guessing it was 36 we should have gone to last time. More padding! This time our heroes don't go so quickly, and they easily hit the bouncer and they jump on top of it, scoring 5 points if it's the first time they've been here. Standing on top of the bouncer, they can both feel it throbbing under their feet. Perhaps they had better not stay here too long. Roll the die. Scores 3 or more, they can aim at another bouncer or aim at the large target. Large target, please. It's literally the same bloody text. Okay, not exactly the same, but it looks bloody similar. Definitely the first time I've been here because, you know, this is yellow and such. Agility test. 5 plus 2, 7. Or 6 or more, we go to a bouncer or another bouncer or spring back. What does spring back do? Oh, back to the... Yeah, but I'm not going to do that yet. Hunts himself up into a ball, tries to spring as he tumbles through the air. The bouncer looms in front of him, manages to grab hold. 5 points. Definitely the first time they've been here because, you know, obviously this is the yellow exit and... Ah, dear. Throbbing. Wonder if there's a Leon duck for your collection. You think you saw an Ada duck? Over the rest of time, you will gift me a full cast of Resident Evil ducks. I'm on board with this. I like that the two I've got are thematically linked. The Resi 3 Jill and the Nemi Jill. The Nemi Jill? The Nemi duck. 5 points. Yep, definitely first time I've been here. Try to get into the long shoot way off to the right. Oh, why not? Do this, yeah, 10 points. 24, 60 points so far. Strength test. 6 for combined scores, 10 or more. If combined scores less than 10, 283. This might be bad. Sonic and Tails mistime their move. Missing their target, they're caught in the game's gravity field and are pulled down towards the bottom and the waiting flippers. Bang! A flipper smashes them back towards the top of the game. Ouch, that hurt. Remove 5 credits from Sonic's stuff. Done. Turn to 124. If Sonic doesn't have 5 credits left, 126. If Commissioner has already given Sonic another 20 credits, then you must turn to 41. So 124. And then we'll go to blue. So hold on. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Yep. Okay, blue exit 229. To be honest, it is Sonic and say it with me, everyone. Sonic and Tails speed out into the game at a terrific rate. Everything is a blur, and only at the very last minute does Sonic see a large target flashing with bright blue lights. First Sonic and then Tails hit the square in the middle. 10 points. What am I testing? Strength. Oh, bollocks. 7. More. Then I can go to another bouncer. 181. Sure. Even though they are travelling at breakneck speed, Sonic and Tails manage to stay in control. They skid to a halt on top of the bouncer, scoring 5 points. From here they can see another bouncer. Into 6. The short way to this bouncer, and both of them make it easily, scoring 5 points. Yes. Straight die roll. 3 or more, head off to another bouncer. Yeah, another bouncer, why not? Okay, we're just going in circles. We've been here before, and that didn't happen. 124, one last exit. Get in. 86. The Super Geos speed out into the game at terrific speed. Hurtling towards them, they can see a large target flashing with bright green lights. First Sonic and then Tails hits the target square. 10 points. Yeah. 10, 20, 30, 40. Just need 5 more points. Now roll the die and add the result of Sonic's speed. That scores 6 or more. It is at 7. Another bouncer. Reacting with incredible speed, Sonic grabs the target with one paw and Tails with the other, sending them both of them whizzing off towards a mushroom bouncer on the right. They hit the bouncer square on, scoring 5 points, and they bounce back the way they came. To not the page we came from. And then we'll just go back to the central spinner because I've got 100 points and I can go to the gold spinner. The gold door, whatever the fuck it said. Ah, finally. Hello, I've been lurking since the dawn of time. That's exactly what Nick sounds like. Don't look him up. And, you know, definitely don't watch this clip that'll tell you exactly what he sounds like. Of all the ones.
Hey, Charlie.
Excellent. Oh dear. Okay, what did I... Nemi Jill would be terrifying and awesome. Normally they'll be renamed the brainwashed Jill Nemi Jill. Just needs to say stars over and over. Sonic the Flash, can you see at a fast rate that he can comprehend where he's going, or does he just bash on regardless? Yes. While true, Jill says stars. Considering the tiny screen space on the Genesis, bash on. Yes. Can confirm this is what Nick sounds like. Dear. D&D with me is impossible because of this. Yeah, why do you think he invented Baboon Miss for Guild of Icons? Just where his voice naturally leads. Still have 45 credits, I'm just going to bear that in mind. The gold door opens and Sonic and Tails find themselves careening down a long tunnel. The tunnel goes on, and with our heroes travelling faster and faster as they fall. This must go all the way to the butt. Tails is cut off short as they tumble through a bonus gate. The gate clatters around, winning our game gurus no less than 40 points. It's 85 now. Looks like it's game over. No one says... Oh, sorry. I skipped ahead a bit. Fortunately, though, they are now falling out of control towards the bottom of the game. Oh, no! He sees the gaping black hole screaming up towards them. Looks like it's game over! Tails and Sonic tumble through the game over hole together. And here you thought it would be impossible because every 5 steps you fall in a hole. I mean, if I were to say that Nick has never ended up in a hole in our D&D game, I would be a liar. Tails, can't you fly? Yeah! Oh no, you're gonna have to get out of your warm bed in 10 minutes. Oh no. Gaping holes, Sonic is neat. Oh god. 2 intrepid heroes tumble through the game over hole. You know, Tails, says Sonic, picking himself up off the floor. I don't come here often. Tails gives his friend one of those looks. I mean, it's so rare for me to actually lose, he continues. Of course it is, replies Tails sarcastically. The brave friends seem to be in some kind of control room. Over to the left is a large hole in the floor through which the losing player's ball would go. The rest of the room is full of computer equipment. Do you understand any of this? Asks Tails, looking at the bewildering mess of circuits. Of course, says Sonic. What would you expect? Looks like there's going to be trouble between the two friends. He picks up a games console. It's just like a Mega Drive, says Tails. Not quite, says Sonic. Look, He points out the title of the cartridge. Death Ball? I haven't heard of that one. Well, I think we've just been playing it. It's wired straight into the main computer. The machine is indeed plugged into the game's main control console. No guesses about who did this, huh? Says Sonic. Looks like we've just missed him again. Yes, replies Tails, wondering if they'll ever catch up to the evil Zonik. Still, there's an easy way to sort out the game from the commissioner, he says, and he reaches out to pull the connecting wire from the console. Sonic's quick wits added on here. 10 total. Scores more than 6, 9, 7. Good roll, good roll. Sonic notices the small black and red wire underneath the Mega Drive. Following it with his eyes, he sees it leads underneath the console to... Oh no! Don't touch it! It's a bomb! Just in time, he reaches out to grab Tails' paw. Phew! That was close! Exclaims Sonic. Tails swallows hard. That was close, he says after a pause. Skillfully, Sonic fiddles with the wires, and in a few seconds, the screen of the Mega Drive goes blank. Nothing to it when you know how! Under the circumstances, Tails thinks it's better to keep quiet. Well, I suppose we better get moving, old friend, says Sonic. There's only one way out of this room, conveniently marked Exit. In your defense, you entered the hole out of your own free will. That's true, it was not an accidental hole. Because that's where I want to see a giant steel ball crashing through. My server room, right? Some server rooms it would make an improvement. Evening, Al, welcome in. Unlike the NES's expansion port, apparently they used this one for a bomb. I don't know, the Sega CD had its charm. I mean, it had a lot of FMV crap and ports of existing Mega Drive games with nothing but a soundtrack upgrade, but apart from that, passing through the door, they find themselves outside the game at last. Yeah. Excellent! The game's back under my control. I can clear up the rest of the mess myself. It is the Commissioner, his mouth forming a huge smile. Whatever you want, you can have, he says. Well, actually, we're in a bit of a hurry, pipes up Tails. Alright, I might be able to help you there, says the Commissioner. Come with me. He shows them through a small side door and into a lift that takes them up to the roof of the casino. My helichopper is the fastest in the zones. It can take you as far as the Mystic Cave if you want. No need to worry about flying it either, it's all remote control. Oh, and by the way, don't forget these. Commissioner hands Sonic a bag. Inside are 100 rings. Fucking yes. That's your prize from beating the game. Fair's fair, he says. With that, the helicopter majestically rises into the air. Where the fuck are we going? Soon, the casino is left far behind, and the helichopper is cruising high above the peaks and volcanoes of the hilltop zone. I'm pleased we don't have to get through that lot on foot, says Tails. Yeah, me too, agrees Sonic, remembering a previous run-in with a Rexon. Down below, something glints among the hills. Soup's on. The soup does feel on at this point. I wonder what that is, says Sonic, pointing to the object through the window. Well, there's a lever here that says land. You want to have a look, suggests Tails. Oh, absolutely. Let's have a gander. Sonic pulls the lever that says land, and the helichopper does just that, gliding slowly down to the ground only a few meters away from the shiny object. Sonic and Tails climb out of the machine to have a closer look at the thing. A silver dome, half buried in some mud. The dome is about half a meter across. Something about it is familiar to Sonic, but he can't quite figure out what it is. Suddenly, the dome moves, and Sonic and Tails both realise that what they've been looking at. The gigantic head of a Rexon slowly rises from the mud. Our heroes have just been looking at the top. Might still be time to run to the helichopper and get out of here. Yeah, fuck this. I'm not losing all my rings to this bastard. Roll the die and add Sonic speed. If it scores 6 or more, and it is, then he and Tails have made it to the Helichopper. They can now fly away. Turn to 1, 2, 1. Excellent. The Helichopper glides high above the hilltop zone. From up here, the place looks almost beautiful. How misleading. Then at long last, "Look, it's the cave!" shouts Tails, pointing out of the window, and sure enough, there it is. The Helichopper starts to descend of its own accord and lands right outside the cave's entrance. Mystic Cave is a strange place. Some people even think it was the first place on Mobius. What? The first place on Mobius? Yeah, Sonic got to the chapter. It wasn't the only way out of here, but the most convenient. Should we buy New Life? Yeah, you make a compelling point. I'll go back down to 22 rings. Get myself a life. Good shout, Dee Dee. And now and again, archaeologists dig up something really old from inside it. There are 2 main passageways leading off the cave's main entrance. We'll go back to always going left. Right did as well, but, you know, it's only fair. It is very dark inside the cave. The walls are glowing with a very dim light, just enough to see where they're going, but that's about all. Don't have a torch, 115. Sonic and Tails stumble blindly into the large cavern. The glow from the walls is far too weak to reach into the centre. Suddenly, Tails' foot hits something hard. Nish, he growls. Sonic feels something shoot past his leg. No, sorry, Tails feels something shoot past his leg. Sonic, there's something in here. Nish. Sonic can see it now. Dimly lit a few meters away is the unmistakable outline of a Crawlton. I think my brain was trying to pronounce that like Carlton. Love Choose Your Own Adventure books, really need more. I think I've got about 40 now. I did a quick count the other day. And it's not... most of them are fighting fantasy ones, but... got Sonic ones, I've got Eternal Champions ones, I've got an Indiana Jones one, I've got 2 Lemmings ones. I managed to find one at an old school. Find an old school one at a fair one time, that was dope. Hell yeah. Just seems to be a thing I collect, I don't know why. Crawlton, Sonic can either use his strength or speed. I choose speed. Needs 2 hits. So, rolled an 11. That's more than a fighting score of 6. That's 1 hit. Does it hit back though? I've forgotten the rules already. Roll 1 die and add it to its fighting score. If the result is more than 10, then it's hit Sonic. 9! Haha, you dick. Okay. I've just realised actually that if it's more than the fighting score, then I can lose. If it's equal or greater to the fighting score, then I cannot lose because my speed is 5. The lowest I can roll is a 1. In do you say? Because they're amazing. I've not actually tried reading it yet, and I should. Interestingly, I have an official D&D one, and you would expect it to have a load of this kind of thing, where, you know, you've got your stats and stuff you need to keep track of. No, none of that. Not a jot. Sonic and Tails win. 292. Walton wins, and your adventure ends here. But it didn't. Crawlton disintegrates into a smoking heap of junk on the floor. Although both Tails and Sonic himself search the area thoroughly, find nothing of any worth. Their only option now is to retrace their steps and explore the upper passageway. 2, 6, 7. Although it is dark here, the walls of the cave give off a strange greenish glow. This sounds extremely familiar. To the right, small tunnel, lights at the end, blah blah blah. 112. Oh crap. Tunnel is very narrow and soon Sonic and Tails can only walk along in a single file. Tunnel itself is lit by small lanterns placed at irregular intervals along the walls. Then, without warning, one of the lanterns moves. Sonic and Tails have stumbled into the lair of 4 flashers. In this narrow tunnel, Sonic will have to fight the flashers on his own, though luckily for him, he can only attack one at a time. Sonic must use his agility. Because the tunnel is so narrow, Sonic may not use the energy gun. I've not been able to use this fucking energy gun once, and it was supposed to be... thing tells me when I can use the energy gun, unless that's been an option this whole time and I could have just paid 10 rings to make a bad guy stop. Like a bird or something come out of the wreckage. Isn't that the way Sonic works? Usually, yeah. Fighting score of 5, they will fight to the death. Well, shit. Okay. First one. I need to use my agility. Oh, I'm fucked. 6. That's 1 down. I'll assume combat restarts, so when I'm taking down one flasher, I move on to the next one and Sonic still gets the first attack. The 3. Instead of the flasher. 8. It's less than 10, I think, was the target. So it's more intense hit Sonic. Yes, okay. Back to Sonic's turn. A happier number, but still not a hit. That's less happy. Still not a 9 though. No, it is still a 9. That is the problem. Okay, 2 flashers down. Combat starts again with new flasher. Done. 4 flasher. Done. Jesus. That was sphincter tightening. Standing beside a hole in the middle of the cavern is Zonik. You know, pin brain, he mocks Sonic. Without that helicopter, you would have been way behind me. You're getting slow in your old age. Who are you calling pin brain, egg breath? Retorts Sonic. 4 flashes. Oh, they're dead. Well, it doesn't really matter what we are calling each other now, because, does it? I have this, I know words. Sonic is holding up his right paw. In it, he has a Chaos Emerald. It's amazing what you will find if you look hard enough, he continues. Power of the Emerald. Nothing will be able to stop him. Sonic and Tails are going to have to act fast. What should they do? Use the energy gun. Fight. Use a bottle of Whiffy liquid. I do have the bottle of Whiffy liquid. You know what? It was kind of set up that the Whiffy liquid would be useful. I just don't see it being useful here. Yeah, I'll use the energy gun, even though I don't think that's probably fight, isn't it? Sonic powers up the energy gun with 10 rings, so we're down to 12. Beam shoots out towards him. Sonic is covered in the energy field and stops. Bang! The energy field shatters, and Sonic stands before them once more. You're going to have to do a lot better than that, he sneers. What will Sonic and Tails try now? Oh, might as well try the liquid. Sonic pulls out the glass bottle of liquid that Whiffy gave him. He throws it at Sonic. He misses, but the bottle shatters on the ground, splashing Sonic's trainers. For a second or so, nothing happens. Then the smell hits him. Oh, wow, man! Is all that Sonic can manage. Tails doesn't even do that well and goes a funny shade of green. As for Sonic, well, he starts to puff and jerk like he's got an ice cube down his back. Now he's hopping around on one foot, then whoosh! Zonik runs from the cavern like nothing Sonic or Tails have ever seen before, dropping the Chaos Emerald in his haste. Why? Why was I designed to smell smells? Why? Why was I programmed to feel pain? I mean, if Zonik loved the stink, he would have stuck around a bit longer. With paw firmly clamped over his nose, Sonic walks up to where Zonik had been standing and picks up the emerald. Good stuff there! Oh, 1 second, I'm just writing down that I've got an emerald. The book doesn't tell me to, but I feel like I should. He says, pointing to the broken bottle. Tails just nods and thinks he's going to be sick. 76. As the emerald flies through the air, Tails hovers and reaches out for the gem with both paws. He misses it. What? It sails through the air into the paws of the waiting Sonic. You want some of this? Says Sonic, waving the emerald at Tails. Sonic is back on his feet now and looks in horror at what has happened. Nope, that's the right one. I feel like I've turned over 2 pages in this. It will be so easy to destroy you now, snarls Sonic. But I think I shall save that pleasure till later. With that, he goes into a supersonic spin and vanishes. The explosion destroyed all of Sonic's rings. Well, I only had 12 left, so that's fine. That's fine. I'm not crying, you're crying. Also broke the energy gun, though Sonic hangs on to it in case he meets somebody who can fix it. Cross off the brown bottle, mark energy gun as broked. Depressed by his failure, Sonic and Tails make their way out the cave. I'm going to turn to 31 and see what would have happened if I tried to fight. Okay, apparently it would not have necessarily... Yeah. So if I use the stink... What's 234? 234 the good ending to that encounter? What? Oh no, the exact same fucking thing happens, except they keep... This is bizarre. I don't remember these things being so bad. Actually, I don't remember the plot of this one at all. I think I mostly read the other book. You know, the Herald of Oblivion had some errors that made it unbeatable. Oh, really? Saddening. After a few minutes' walk, the cavern first closes into a small passageway, and then opens out again into the outside world. Light streams in, and for a few moments our heroes have to squint against the bright light. There's a smell too, exhaust fumes, garbage, and a wall of noise. See you in Rings Anonymous, Sonic. Sonic would never go, let's face it. Welcome to the Metropolis Zone, old friend, says Sonic. It's so nice to be back. Sonic's voice is heavy with sarcasm. In the distance they can see the jagged skyline of Metropolis, home of Dr. Robotnik. I felt the need to add his title on there as well. Hopefully, it would also hold the secret of Zonik as well, since there was now little doubt that the two must be connected. Still quite a long way to the city. Will Sonic and Tails set off immediately, or will they investigate the strange-looking pole sticking out of the ground a few meters away? Of course we bloody will. The pole is about 2 meters high with a round sign at the top. I wonder what it is, asks Tails. I don't know, what does bus stop mean? Replies Sonic. You don't have to wait long to find out. Big red bus can look rather strange if you've never seen one before. Neither Sonic nor Tails had, so they were a little confused. The bus stops beside the pole and the doors open. Metropolis, Metropolis, all stops to Metropolis. Our two friends look at each other, not really sure what to make of all this. Oh, come on if you're getting on. No time to waste. Yeah, we need money, but let's just jump on anyway. Won't be a trap. Carefully, Sonic and then Tails get on the bus. Sitting behind the steering wheel is a small silver robot wearing a rather battered peaked cap. Where to then? Sonic say. What do you recommend? I'll go all the way. This one terminates at the city centre. Take your seats, please. Sonic and Tails sit down and the bus moves off. Well, I suppose it beats walking, says Tails as he looks out the window. Outside, the landscape rushes past. The bus is moving very quickly, and in no time at all, the gates of Metropolis loom in front of them. I'm gonna have to be careful in here, Tails, says Sonic. I think the best thing to do is to pretend I'm Zonik. What about me then? Asks Tails. Maybe you could be Tails or something, replies Sonic. Sonic, we're going all the way. Finally! And you feel Sonic would deny he had a problem. Exactly. Bus finally comes to a stop in a large square in the middle of the city. Metropolis is a very busy place and there are people and robots everywhere, although none of them seem to be taking any notice of our friends. Where will they go from here? Will they explore the area on foot, or will they head for the subway? Explore on foot. I don't think the subway would go to Robotnik's gaff. The streets of Metropolis are thronged with every kind of creature imaginable, and everywhere there are badniks. Sonic and Tails move slowly, ducking from one small alleyway to the next, desperately trying to remain unseen. Okay, I didn't think about that part. This is getting us nowhere fast, old friend, says Tails. Sonic has to agree. About 30 meters ahead of them, they can see another subway entrance. The subway it is, then, decides Sonic. Sonic and Tails find themselves in a broad, well-lit tunnel. High above them, they can hear the hustle and bustle of the city, but down here, all is quiet. No, it's not. You can hear the hustle and bustle. Which way will they go now? Right. Oh, actually, I just happened to spot this one because I was wondering, can I use the zone chip? Not right now, but if I did, where would it go? That's the number of tails. It rings. If you don't want Sonic to use the chip, I'll return to the section. If you want Sonic to go, if you think Tails should go as well, 221. Right, so that is actually an option the game gives you. The Gamebook gives you. Okay, it must be this one. The whole of Metropolis is honeycombed with these tunnels, but since neither of them knew what they were looking for, it could be a very long job. Where do you think we ought to head for, Sonic? Asks Tails. I was thinking we should head for Robotnik's HQ, and then play it by ear from there, says Sonic, almost as an afterthought. I mean, he's bound to know what's going on. All we've got to do is persuade him to tell us. Easy, really, says Tails, not convinced. Oh no! We've come to a dead end, says Sonic, looking at the wall in front of them. Hang on! Walls don't move, screams Tails. Quickly turn to 156. Maybe I find out I'm about to die. Oh. Hold on. What had looked like a solid brick wall for a few seconds ago suddenly starts to move. First one huge claw and then another appears, and the whole wall starts to grind slowly towards our heroes. It's a shell cracker! Screams Sonic. Sonic must fight the shell cracker using strength. Tails will help Sonic. Good, because my strength is shit. Needs 2 hits to be destroyed. Was it +3 for Tails? Can add 3, yes. Okay. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes, that's 1 hit. Shell cracker. 1 + 7, that's less than 10. Excellent. Let's turn again. Oh, that's not so good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let me just double check if it's more than or equal or greater than. Sonic rolls higher than or equal to an enemy's fighting score. Then yes, hit it. Yes, hit it twice. Goal 7-8. We does not die. Shell crackers are never an easy opponent, and that fight was a tough one. From the Shatter's remains, we get 20 rings and a broken piece of claw. Broked claw. These. Excellent. 48. This branch of the tunnel is well lit and really quite clean for a change. This is a bit more complex than I expected, yeah. There's padding, but that takes some planning to get right. Which, now that I've said it out loud, they kind of didn't, because there was a couple of places where it looks like we skipped a line. So, Sonic, says Tails, how exactly are we going to persuade Robotnik to tell us what is going on? Sonic hesitates. The truth is that he didn't have a clue. Of course, he couldn't possibly admit that, so in the end he simply says, have faith, old friend. I'll think of something. You'll see. They carry on walking for a few more minutes, and then they turn a corner in the tunnel and come face to face with something really rather strange. Lying in the middle of the tunnel floor is a large pile of rings. There must be 50 over there, Sonic. Wrong voice. There must be 50 over there, Sonic. What a stroke of luck! Exclaims Tails. Quick wits. Alright, that's not a bad score of mine. Dice tilted over, it's fine. So 7 or more, 145. We've never fudged a dice roll on this. Wait a minute, Tails. No one's gonna leave a great big pile of rings just lying around. It's gotta be a trap. You know something? You're absolutely right. Squeals a high-pitched voice. Suddenly, the tunnel is full of furry animals, all about half a metre high, with sharp little teeth. Thanks for the posture check in street. Oh! But not one of ours, screeches another. If you don't want to be nabbed, you best come with us, says another. Quickly, very quickly, adds yet another. Sonic and Tails have been taken by surprise. Creatures don't look very friendly, but then again, they haven't attacked. Quickly, come with us or the robots will be here, warns the leader of the creatures. Yeah, go with them. These are clearly freedom-fighting squirrels. Putting their trust in the strange creatures, Sonic and Tails follow them through a maze of corridors and tunnels. The creatures seem to know the tunnels very well. After what seems like ages, they come to a halt in a large, dimly lit cavern. Sonic's eyes get used to the light. He begins to realise that there are literally thousands of the creatures here, and every one of them is staring intently at him and Tails. It's not because they're hungry. It's definitely not because they're hungry. Greetings, you are Sonic, are you not? Oh, and your brave companion Tails, if I'm not mistaken. The voice from a wizened old creature sitting in the middle of the cave. Nom nom nom. Yes, I'm Sonic, and who might you be? Replies Sonic. Well, I might be anyone. As it is, I'm Frisp. I'm the chief of the tunnel rats. The creature waves his arm around the room. So, they're rats. What were the rings left lying around for? Asks Sonic. They were left by Robotnik as a trap. Just as well we were here to help you, says Frisp, and the other rats murmured their approval. How did you know they'd be there at the right time then? Asks Tails. Tunnel rat? Fallout crossover? What do you think Fallout was based on? Something else. Frisp stands up and holds his arms wide. I am Frisp, and I can see the future. The other chants start to chant. Frisp continues. I know that you seek one like yourself, and I also know that as we speak, he is at the factory in the center of the city. He is a creature of Robotnik, and he is of great evil. Evil! Evil! The other rats chant. They seem to know more about what's going on than Sonic does. Will you help us? Asks Tails. Help! Help! Of course we'll help! Exclaims Frisp. Here, take these. The old rat holds out a roll of paper, a tube of glue, and a bright red piece of plastic. These will help you, but remember also that the power of light is greater than steel. Now, be gone, for you have but little time. My rats will show you the way. Right, so tube glue. Roll paper. Paper. Bright red piece of plastic. A lot of bits, bobs just hanging about. I weirdly love the name Frisp for some reason. Frisp, Frisp, Frisp. It's hard to say over and over, actually. My rats. Couldn't call them my friends or my allies. My fucking rats. Oh, rats are cute, though. Little ratomatos. The rats lead Sonic and Tails away from the cavern, back through the maze of corridors. At last they reach a rusty old iron door set in the wall of the tunnel. That's where you want to go. Yes, right through there, the rats say together, and then melt away into the shadows. Fortunately, the door has been left open, and our friends peer into the murk on the other side. Let's have a look at this first, says Sonic, as he unrolls the scroll. It is covered in a spidery scrawl. Quick wits check. 10. More to 85. Too much. Sonic stares at the paper. He realizes it's some kind of poem. What's it say? Asks Tails. Well, it seems to be some kind of poem. Funny, I never took the rats to be into all that sort of stuff. Still, it looks like it says, left, right, upside down, then go to ground. Yeah, right. Right. Upside down. Go to ground. You are very cute so long as you aren't plain Dishonored. Well, it looks like it says your mama is so old. Hang on a second. Hopefully Iki will remember to check these directions, unlike 312. Lesson, right? Accurate. I thought it was a section number, okay? That's it then. Nothing to worry about at all, says Sails, with a silly look in his face. It's alright, it's a map! Come on! Sonic steps through the door and finds himself in a tunnel. It is lit by star-shaped lanterns hung along the wall, though the light they give out is very dim. In some of the following sections you will see a star symbol. When you see this, roll the die. If your score is 1, then you must turn to 211. If 1... Hang on. If star roll. If 1, 211. Remember to make a note of the section number you were on so you'll know where to return to. Okay, so it's not instant death. That's nice. Which turn is it? Hey, look at that. I forgot about the goddamn music again. I only noticed when my headphones turned off. Right, hold on. I'm going to have to go through this again because... There we go. Didn't remember where I was. The tunnel is made of shiny, almost black metal. Their footsteps echo on and on as they walk. That's not a 1. This must be the factory basement, says Sonic. I wonder what they make here. And go left again. And roll once more. That's not a 1. Excellent. There are a lot of strange star-shaped lanterns in this part of the tunnel. In different circumstances, they might have even looked pretty. No time to think of that now, though. Sonic and Tails have come to a junction. Will they go left? Yes, they will. Well, again. Okay. Tunnel slowly begins to wind downhill and become really rather dark. Just remembered I've got directions for this. Just gonna go back. Completely forgot that the directions were even there. You may have had a point, DD. So, yes. 2, 2. And 1, 2, 2. Yeah, I didn't pass a check for this one. So we'll do. Every so often there's a faint booming noise coming from above them. Perhaps this is where they make badniks. What do you reckon, Sonic? Asks Tails. Well, if it is, we've come to the right place, replies Sonic. I've had just about enough of Robotnik. He's such a drag. Again, ahead of them, the tunnel divides in two. And keep a note of things I've done, so it's left again. That was a 5. You know something, says Sonic. When this adventure's over, it would be really cool to spend just a few hours playing a game or something. Too right, says Tails, and get a burger or two in as well. Can even go left or right. And it's right's turn. Soon this tunnel begins to widen out until our heroes find themselves in a large cavern. Thud, thud, boom! What? Tails is cut off before he can see any more. Boom! Thud. They're missiles! Hit the floor! Sonic sees the missiles impacting on the wall near where they'd been standing a second ago. But where were they coming from? There it is! Yells Tails. Sonic looks to where his friend is pointing. Over near the middle of the cave, a gigantic robot lumbers into view. The biggest Sonic's ever seen. Like a massive ball, totally round. The missiles are flying thick and fast from it. What will Sonic and Tails do? Fight, energy gun, that's broken. Try using some glue, try to roll the badnik over. Upside down. Try and flip it over. Although it appears terrifying, the badnik doesn't look all that stable. One well-timed push might just send it rolling over like a turtle. Patiently, our friends wait for the right moment and then charge the badnik with all their strength. They hit the side of it at exactly the same time. Perfection. The robot wobbles, then tilts and with a mighty crash rolls over upside down. In perps. Zzz. It goes, and then falls silent. Outstanding! Get a new pair of trainers for that one. What does that mean? Exclaims Tails. You aren't so bad yourself, old friend, replies Sonic. 249. 249, come on. Bloody hell. 3.5 hours on the one book. Badnik dealt with, Sonic and Tails can have a good look around the cavern. Over on the far side is a solid steel door with a lever beside it. Apart from that, the cavern looks empty. Oh, wits check. Oh, bollocks. Less 74. Despite a thorough search of the cave, neither Tails nor Sonic finds anything. Looks like the only way out of this cave is to try and open the steel door. Sonic and Tails look at the lever by its side. After you, says Sonic, gesturing for Tails to try the lever. No, after you, replies Tails. No, really, says Sonic. No, you tried, Sonic. I insist, smiles Tails, bowing gracefully to his friend. Gingerly, Sonic reaches out and pulls the lever, and the door slides open with a faint whooshing sound. There you are, nothing to it, says Sonic. Let's hope you feel the same way about those then, says Tails, pointing to the two guard bots that have suddenly appeared. Sonic and Tails must fight the guard bots using strength. Bollocks. Guard bots have a fighting score of 5, but both can attack Sonic each round. Tails will help Sonic. Okay, so the robots will get 2 attacks on me. So Sonic, 5, 6, 7. Yep, that's enough. So got a hit on 1, and that's fine. Guardbot attacks back. 9, that's less than 10. Okay, Sonic attacks the Guardbot. Yep, it's done. Yay. Light streams through the open door, along with the clamouring noise of machinery and a faint acidy smell. Look, what's this? Asks Tails, inspecting a small sign on the door. Sonic reads it aloud. Cloning plant, strictly no admittance. Why is he from New York all of a sudden? Hey, I need a chili dog over here. Try that again. Cloning plan, strictly no admittance. Yeah, that was very soupy, that one. Oh. My chat wasn't doing anything for a second there. As in the web page that is meant to display my chat and maybe not stop responding for no reason. Yes, we go in and have a look around in that case, he adds with a smile on his face. From here our friends can walk up a short corridor and open a door. The door has a sign above it saying, Spinefields, danger. Should they go through the door? If this is too risky, they can go to the bottle bank. That sounds good to me. There you go. Our two friends creep up to the door labelled bottle bank. No noise coming from inside, and Sonic pushes open the door boldly to find a huge room full of shelves. These shelves are full of bottles. Look, says Tails, pointing to the nearest shelf. A quick look around reveals that the place is crammed with bottles of a faintly familiar shape. By the far wall there's a door labelled production line. What should the heroes do? Go in and look in the other room if they haven't been there already. Smash the place up. Go through the door labelled production line. Smash it! Oh no, knock off Sonic merchandise! Sonic and Tails start destroying the place. Sonic spins around like a maniac, smashing everything in his path. Tails is a little slower, but he manages his fair share, and in no time, everything is a wreck. Scores 1 or 2. Nope, that's fine. Looking at production line, I think. Carefully, Sonic pushes open the door and peers through it. Wow! Mega! Sonic just can't help himself. It's a true statement in most circumstances. Sonic appears to have been trapped between normal and super covered in orange juice. Yeah, that was maybe not the best colouring job, but also probably done by a child. Aside, your friend has been so successful making good merchandise that foreign sellers are stealing her images and product descriptions to sell knockoffs. You're so proud. Apparently it's worth stealing. You know, I wish the art wasn't getting stolen, but it is a good indicator that the art is worth something. So yeah, nice. It's like when you get your first Twitch bot, means you're making it. Yeah, good way of putting it. Through the door they can see a room so big they cannot even see the roof, let alone the other side of it. There are machines all over the place and robots too. The place is buzzing with activity and it all seems to be centered around a slow moving conveyor belt, but from where our friends are standing they cannot see what's going on. Let's have a closer look, whispers Sonic, and our two friends slowly creep towards the conveyor belt. Robots are so intent on doing whatever it is they're doing that no one sees them. When they are closer, you can see the conveyor belt is full of glass jars. Glass jars with blue stuff in them. If you ordered one to see what they were selling, they sell hand-stained laser-cut wood signs. They sent painted foam. Wow. Wow. Choose Baby's Day Out. Well, funny you should say that, because there's an ad in the back for the novelization of Baby's Day Out. Ah, weird movie. Oh no, explains Tails. Look, he says, pointing at the jars. Sonic obeys, looks at the jars and sees what has spooked Tails. Every jar contains a small blue hedgehog. One Sonic was bad enough, but... Okay, I think the music has moved on to a different franchise. I revealed itself when you let glow of the book before. Yeah, I showed it off earlier as well. Hang on a second. Tails Lo-Fi Mega Collection, that'll do. One Zonik was bad enough, but the way this place is churning them out, there would soon be thousands. Think about using some glue if Sonic has any. I do have glue. I don't know how it'll help, but I've got it. As the Sonic jars move along the conveyor belt, they get sprayed with a yellow mist. Sonic doesn't know what it is, but judging by the way the tiny Sonics jump about, it looks important. The glue would jam up that nozzle nicely. Taking aim, Sonic squeezes the tube and a blob lands right on the end of the nozzle. Spurgle! If that's the noise your glue is making, I would just buy a new tube. Right application of glue in the factory can be very effective. If you did a choose your own adventure of Baby's Day Out, you'd have it from the POV of the criminals and have zero win states, just progressively funnier choose your own slapstick. Right. I can get behind that. Crisp and splurgle. For a few moments nothing happens. Then a red light starts to flash on the nearest machine, then another and another. The conveyor belt grinds to a halt. Emergency! Emergency! Booms out a mechanical voice. All the robots start to move away from the machinery. Says Tails. I'd say we've broken it. Have Sonic and Tails already smashed up the bottle bank in the spine fields? If they have, then turn to 130. If they have not smashed up these rooms, I've smashed up one of them, so I'm assuming that means 152. Despite the fact that a lot of the machinery has stopped working, there are still lots of jars with mini Zonics inside them. Sonic looks at them, wondering what to do. Quick wits. That comes to 5. Scores less. Turn to 4. Bollocks. Oh no. Sonic stares at the jars, wondering what to do with them. Suddenly... I didn't smash up both rooms, and then the one room I smashed up with the... I feel like I should call bullshit on this one, but fuck it, let's see what happens. They just look like they're minions anyway. Sonic stares at the jars, wondering what to do with them. Suddenly, one of the jars cracks and then splinters into pieces. Standing in its place is a perfectly formed mini Sonic. Another jar starts to crack and another. Horrified, Sonic realizes that the jars are starting to hatch. Sonic and Tails must fight the mini Sonics. Tails will not be able to help Sonic. Why? The mini Sonics have a fighting score of 5 and only need 1 hit to be destroyed. Unfortunately, there are 5 of them. Sonic must fight them one after the other. Okay, so... what am I fighting with? What it said. It doesn't specify, so I'm just going to say 5. I've won. My speed is 5. I can't roll lower than a 5. I just fucking won. Thank you very much. All around them, the factory lies in ruins. Yeah, we like winning, yes. It'll be a long time before any more Zonics come off the production line. But where's the first Zonic? Unfortunately, they don't have to wait long to find out. Never apologize for peeing. Well, sometimes. It's very situational. Evergreen quote, that one, if I do say so myself. What have you done? Shouts Zonik. The evil hog spins into view. Robotnik is going to fry you for this. Sonic lands a few meters in front of Sonic. Shut up, egg breath! You're all washed up! Sonic coils up and Sonic steps back, ready to fight. Then Sonic does something unexpected. He runs away. You think you've won, but you haven't, he shouts. Caught on the hop, it's a second or so before Sonic can get after him, but by then it's too late. Sonic has disappeared through a side door. Come on, Tails, after him! Yells Sonic, charging after Sonic. 269. Sonic is the first through the door and sees Sonic disappearing into the clouds. The door has brought our heroes to the start of the Sky Chase zone. Sonic is riding a cloud skimmer. There's another one on the platform. Will Sonic and Tails get into the cloud skimmer, or will Sonic rely on Tails and have... Absolutely not rely on Tails, he's got a limit. Sonic runs over to the skimmer, quickly followed by Tails. There are two seats in the strange flying machine, one of them with a joystick in front of it. Who will fly the machine? Tails. It's his thing, it's what he does. Tails climbs into the pilot seat and looks at the controls. As well as the joystick, there are several weird looking dials and a big red button. This is all very complicated. There isn't time to sit and think things out, but Tails has the advantage of being a natural flyer. Reaching out, he presses the red button and the skimmer's engines spring to life. Then he pulls the joystick back, and the skimmer flies into the air. 227, 227, 227, 227. Excuse me a second. Oh, your Lord, Sonic is a spoiled brat bully. He's going to run into Daddy. Oh dear. Last, Sonic and Tails are up in the air and in hot pursuit of the evil Sonic. By his head start, our heroes are gaining on him by the second. Watch out for the acid clouds! Shouts Sonic. Touch one and we're finished! Like that one, you mean? Tails points to a large acid cloud looming up in front of them. Did Navi just show up in a Sonic lo-fi? Whatever. Yes, just like that one! Warns Sonic. Our friends swerve to the right or to the left? Well... 192. After a few seconds of blue skies, more clouds appear. This time they're not so big, but there are lots of them. Heroes could fly around them, but that would take too long. There's only one thing for it. We're gonna have to fly straight through that lot, yells Sonic. How are Sonic and Tails flying? If Tails is flying... 170. Oh no. Tails desperately tries to control the cloud skimmer as it flies through the clouds. Touch one of them and our heroes will be done for. The score is 1. It's a 5. Once through the clouds, Sonic and Tails find themselves in a huge expanse of blue sky. Look! Screams Tails, pointing. It's him! Sonic looks in the direction his friend is indicating, and sure enough, there is Sonic and his cloud skimmer. At last, our heroes are within striking distance. Sonic looks over his shoulder and realizes how close his pursuers are. Fight is on. Will Sonic and Tails attack Sonic from above, or will they attack him from below? The last bit of advice was go to ground, and I don't know if I screwing up that skill thing was the end of that whole sequence. I'm gonna go from below, just in case. Our friends go into a shallow dive to pick up speed. They are soon directly below Zonik's cloud skimmer. And climbing again, they fly to within touching distance of the enemy. Zonik pulls around the skimmer and flies straight at Sonic's. Looks like he's decided to fight it out. There's not much time to think. What Sonic and Tails do? Fight it out, use the Skynet if they have one, or use the energy gun. Gotta fight! Bloody gun's broken. How are Sonic and Tails flying? Tails is flying the thing, so... Now it's time to fight. Zonik has a fighting score of 6 and the skimmer needs to be hit 3 times to put it out of action. Not 8. That's usually how a boss fight goes. Sonic may fight using any of his abilities you choose. Tails cannot help Sonic, he needs to fly the skimmer, but Tails is such a natural flyer, Sonic may add 1 to whatever score he gets. Okay. So, yep, 11, that's 1 hit. Sonic's turn. That's 2 plus 6, less than 10. 7, that's another hit. Sonic's turn. Nope. 8. Done. Fucking done him in. So I have... Probably. Maybe there's another fight after this. 2 skimmers twist and turn this way and that all over the sky. Finally, Zonic's skimmer can't take it anymore. It buckles under yet another of Sonic's flying kicks and it spirals out of control towards the planet's surface. Sonic and Tails follow. Of course this wasn't over. Oh dear. Yeah, hydrate's not a bad idea. It's a Nintendo boss fight, so it's 2-stage apparently. Watcha! Yeah, exactly. The surface of the zone is barren and rocky and not very nice at all. At last, Sonic and Tails and Zonik stand facing each other. It's time for the final showdown. If Zonik crash landed, he has a fighting score of 5. Like Sonic, he has 3 lives, and therefore needs to be hit 3 times to be beaten. Sonic crash landed, you know. Sonic must have the gloves to fight Zonik. Sonic hasn't been to the special zone, then he must go and get them if he has enough rings. I've got 20 rings. Sonic has the Chaos Emerald to get 2 to his score, so yeah, I've got to use the chip. So we were on 214. Hell of a thing to just drop in here at this point. Takes out the zone chip. I'll just go myself. I'll probably regret that. Actually, no, I'll take them both, because... Why the hell not? What else am I going to use the rings for at this point? I think Tails should go as well. 221. Chip starts to flash with red lights and emit a quiet humming sound. Suddenly, Sonic feels a little dizzy and Tails starts to sway from side to side. The next thing they know, they're standing in a square room. Everything shines with a bright white light. This isn't anywhere Sonic's been before. In fact, it doesn't even look like a normal zone. There are 4 doors, 1 in each wall. Above each door is a different picture. Sonic and Tails must choose carefully. They will only be allowed to go through a door once. It will seal shut forever afterwards. Once they have decided which one to go through, put its number down so they do not try and use it again. Pair of gloves. 252. Door opens automatically to reveal a small room. In the middle is a computer console. Curious, Sonic walks over to have a closer look. There's a message printed on the screen. Press return to exit or F1 to play. Sonic do. I will press F1 to play. 178. Sonic pushes the F1 key and suddenly the screen springs into life. Well, at least they told me where to get the gloves, you're right. 1 or 2 player game. Sonic is alone, 232, 167. Sonic pushes the 2-player button and then waits. Nothing happens for a moment or two, then the screen flickers into life. Wow! It's Bandit Fighter 2! Brilliant! Sonic loves the game. Sonic's quick wits. As Tails is helping them out, it can outdo to the results, so that comes to 11, I think it is. 5, 4, plus 2 for Tails, 11. Scores 10 or more, 198. The unthinkable has happened and the players have lost. I think not. The game has been won. Suddenly a door opens in the wall just above the computer to reveal a hidden safe. In the safe is a pair of gloves. Add these to Sonic stuff. Load quote asterisk quote comma 8. You know, I swear to God I had that memorized as a child, but anytime I want to load something in a C64 emulator, I have to look it up. Just fallen out of my head since then. Nothing left to do now except press the return button. Suddenly there's a funny kind of wobbly feeling, and Sonic, and Tails if he was there, find themselves back where the zone chip was first used. You should have written this down. If you haven't, let's hope you've got a good memory. If you haven't got a good memory, then you're fucked. 14. Yeah, I've got the gloves. Don't know why. You had to look it up too. You remember asterisk and 8 and load, that's about it. Fair enough. Okay, so Zonik crash landed, so fighting score of 5. Needs to be hit 3 times. And Tails can help me. Had just enough rings to do that. And just double check, I'm pretty sure it's +3 from Tails. Good. And add +3, yes. So. And does it say what ability I need to use? Specific gloves. Doesn't specify, I'll just assume I can use any. 5, that's, yep, that's more than enough. 1 hit. Sonic fights back. Less than 10. Get fucked. Sonic again. 2 hits. Ooh, hold on. Yep, that is a hit on me. So I have lusted a left. I've got 1 left. Good thinking there, DD. Last time. 5, 9, 10. Yep. Done it. Off to 300 we go. The evil Zonik has been defeated at last, and Sonic and Tails stare at him as he slowly dissolves in a nasty blue blob on the ground. With him gone, and the factory gone as well, the zones will return to normal. Well, I suppose that's that then, says Tails. Yeah, I guess it is, replies Sonic. Any idea how we're going to get back home? Asks Tails. Nothing to it, says Sonic, and with that he spins off into the distance. Hey, wait for me, cries Tails. And with that our 2 pals disappear over the horizon. There we go. Actually made it through one of these. Maybe they're just a bit more forgiving than the Fighting Fantasy books were. Not even a you win at the bottom. That would have been a nice little thing to have, I would say. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. I honestly thought that would screw me over just a wee bit. Just a wee bit more. I did lose 2 lives early, and Dee Dee's the MVP on this one because, frankly, if I hadn't bought that life, I would have lost. Oh, excuse me, would have lost all those rings, and then I would have been screwed. Like, bear in mind, I had just enough rings to go to the to use the zone chip. Just enough. The exact amount. It was a little scary, as a matter of fact. Oh, cheers. Deary me. Sonic versus off-brand Sonic. Very off-brand. I mean, look at this fucker. And then it turns out to be about clones rather than robots. Oh dear. Alright, well, that is all that. We have Sonic at home. Sonic at home. Okay, so let's have a look. Ah, perfect. Someone to raid. It was a bit of a ride, wasn't it? Especially some of the Britishisms making it into Sonic and Tails' speech. So hang on, let me just check something. Yeah. Right, there we go. Nothing like a close-up of a keyboard to make you go, I must dust keyboard. I really must dust keyboard. This is embarrassing. And in fact, yeah, we'll just go on to the end screen at this point so I don't have to show it up. Here's the same, you should find your duster. Yep.
What have I done?
Merry time zone to you all. Yes, now it's been pointed out, Sewa. The mood is substantial. So yes, thank you ever so much for that. Thank you for the new follow. Thank you ever so much to Bisected Brioche for being wonderful and raiding. And if you want more Sonic insanity, tune into Bisected Brioche's channel tomorrow night, where, barring any mischief going on, there will be a continuation of her 8-bit goggles and his cursedness playing through the the death of Sonic the Hedgehog. You have brushes you can use on your keyboard now. Ooh, I should look those up. Sounds good. I would highly recommend that because, one, Death of Sonic the Hedgehog looks to be an interesting Sonic game, and two, those 3 are unhinged. None hinge left beef. So, yes, so if you will join me on a merry little raid to It's Kit Actually, who's been on a long hiatus but trying out another wee stream. So, go show some support. Thank you all again. I shall probably see you on Friday for the Bad Batch. Only more hinged if both Talia and you were there. That would be anti-hinge. Alright, so we're going to start a raiding. Thank you again. See you soon. Bye.